Well, that didn't work out as planned, but here we are. We are here. No intro. Well, we got a bit of an intro, but anyway, that was a mess. We're back again. WrestlePurists Live, hosted by the 6 people you see on screen. And I think a few more people are probably going to pass through, and some people are probably going to leave early. I don't know. But there's a lot of us, and we're here for a very important occasion, which is the WrestlePurists 2023 Awards. We're going to look at all the nominees. We're going to talk about them. We're going to see if the nominees are, see if they're worthy, who we think the favourites are. We're just going to talk raps, you know. It's Sunday night. We're going to chill. And happy to have everyone with us. Hope everyone's doing good. Please like, subscribe, send any super chats, any questions, any takes, anything like that. Hope everyone's doing perfectly good. Starting with my fellow co-host, Rob. What's going on?
Yo, just woke up actually. Got ready to talk about the nominees and who I think is gonna win each of these awards for the WrestlePurists Awards this year. Very excited to talk about these awards. Very different, a lot more organized than last year, and so I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get some hot takes or something, you know. Joe Hulbert, the level-headed one, the veteran.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking forward to grab a hold tonight.
Very much. I'm a little bit alarmed that our opening spot was blown that way. That was concerning. I need to just settle it down a little bit here and calm everyone. But nonetheless, everyone knows I love the awards season. I have many passionate viewpoints on these awards tonight. I apologise in advance if I burst into tears if one of these debates doesn't go my way. I feel very strongly about it. So I'm here to be calm, best I can, Monty, because this means an awful lot. This is the most prestigious prize in all of sports and entertainment. And when you put that "and" in there, that's big business. So I'm ready to go.
Big business, isn't it, Charlie?
It sure is. Yeah, breaking down the awards today. I feel like shit, but I'm here. Had to make the town. If I disappear, I'm not leaving. I'm just ill, so I have to mute to cough because I don't want to deafen anyone. So, but yeah, I have opinions, so I'm here to share them.
I appreciate the courtesy, you know. Big AO, what's going on?
I'm here. You know, I wasn't gonna make the town, but I did the rampant fat glazing that was gonna go on if I just didn't step in and do something about this. Would have been disgusting levels. We have a brand name here, WrestlePurists, that needs to be protected. And if nobody's gonna do it, I am. So I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna do what needs to be done. I'm gonna tell these people the truth.
Gonna make sure these awards don't get out of control. Or,
yeah, man, it would have got
no
nasty,
agendas,
bro.
nothing like that.
Just all worldwide up here, like y'all would have just been running rampant, bro. Like, what's going on?
Speaking of WrestlePurists worldwide, completing the trio, Evil of WrestlePurists, backup Hangman. What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm eating a bagel right now, and I'm enjoying a nice, slow little Sunday afternoon. I'm having a pretty good weekend. You know, I watched a lot of wrestling that I thought was pretty good. You know, from everything that I touched on, and you know, wrestling's always better when CM Punk is good. You know, when CM Punk when he was not beating the washed allegations. What was it? Almost 2 weeks ago. I was having a really bad time, and so him reversing that is nice. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm here if you need me. Tag me. I'm on the rope. I'm in the apron. You know what I mean? You want a quick pose or a spot. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. I'll be waving the crowd along. I might do the worm or some shit. I don't know. Just spin around. You know, whatever the fuck.
I don't think anyone needs to see that. You know.
Pervert? What is wrong with you?
I tried to do the worm in college once in a party, and I turned my ankle.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Pop back up. And
There's genuinely something wrong with you, bro. Like genuinely.
Yeah, award season. We'll talk about our awards. People seem to really care about those, which is really cool. I think it's really cool. I want to put us over. I think it's really cool that we're 2 years in. This is year 2 now doing these awards, and we have the respect of the business and the industry. Like people within the industry, people around it, following it, the fans. They absolutely have. They take it seriously. They approach it seriously. There's reverence for it. So that's great. That's a great thing. It's something that should not be taken for granted. And so, as such, I will treat our own awards with the respect and reverence that it deserves tonight by giving you my 100% effort on the floor and my serious takes.
Happy to hear that, Ibu. I know a lot of people kind of worried that might not happen, So, like you said, very prestigious awards these are. When we was announcing our nominees, we had people talking. The people were tweeting about who they had voted for and all that good stuff. It was cool to see. There was a lot more conversation this year, so that was cool to see, as Ibu mentioned. So,
Bro, speaking of our nominees, bro, I'm not really talking to anybody here because if you're here, I'm sure you voted or didn't cry when you saw the nominee list. But these fucking idiots, bro, who didn't send in a nominee, and then when the nominee list drops, they're like, "Oh, you AW marks." No, or nobody knows who these Japanese people are. You marks. Where's XYZ who only has 4 matches on fucking NXT Level Up? You anti WWE marks. First of all, bro, Monty would lay down his life for WWE if he could, bro. Like, so the insinuation that this is a fed bad AEW good platform is hilarious when Monty owns it. Second of all, bro, just vote next year, bro. Just vote. It's open to everybody. So just vote. All right, that's all I gotta say.
It is open to everybody, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching have seen the tweets we did a couple of weeks ago asking for people to kind of submit the nominees and suggestions of who should be nominated, and that is how we have compiled this very, 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 very prestigious list of nominees for the End of Year Awards in 2023. So
I gotta say, Monty, I am glad we all remember that Yuma Aoyagi exists, because when I was looking at the Rookie of the Year, or is it Anzai? Sorry, Anzai.
Oh, God, how unprofessional is that? Come on.
Sorry, Ron Law's a fan wrestler. Aoyagi is me a heart attack.
Racist?
Accusations.
I'm really glad we all remembered who Yuma Anzai was, because I was looking at the nominees for Rookie of the Year and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
Very different to last year.
Yeah.
Very, very different to last year, because last year was stacked, and years like this year prove that point. Last year we had, Hook, Braun Breaker. I think Tiffany Stratton was on there. Who else was on there?
Those three are doing pretty good right now.
Gallows was on there, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame what Braun Breaker's turned into.
No.
That's not my real opinion on.
All right, let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. Like I just mentioned, how we came to the decision of compiling this list of nominees. So, if you want to cry about it, vote next year. What do I want to start with? I want to start with something hot. Show of the year, 2023. Okay, this is who we're looking at. 5 nominees for each award, people. So this is the first one. So make sure you get involved as well in the live chats and super chats and chats in general. I want to know what you guys are thinking as well, because otherwise, what's the point? Show of the year 2023. Stardom, All-Star Grand Queendom, WWE WrestleMania 39 Night 1, AEW All Out, AEW Revolution, AEW New Japan, Forbidden Door 2. Joe Hulbert, what event jumps off the page to you immediately?
This is one that I think it's a really compelling category, but the way I've kind of reached my conclusion on this is pretty simple. What is the event that's feeling, vibe, and atmosphere will stick with me the most? That memory I feel will live longest for me. I go straight to WrestleMania. That was a magical night. Now, when you go match for match, I don't believe it to be but to me, there's more that goes into a great event than that. And that one was just about perfect. The general mood when that show went off the air was like wild. I've never experienced WrestleMania like that personally. There's some great events now. I was All Out in Chicago, had a great time. The Revolution show was incredible. But Mania is the one I think is going to stick with me as a feeling and a kind of moment in time. So that's my pick personally.
Would I be correct in assuming that your favourite match from that show was the main event?
Would be, but I will say, especially in the line of thinking, what I just said about moment and feel, Ray and Dom was pretty
Snoop
special.
Dogg, you know.
Yeah, and again, nowhere near as good a match, but the entrance, the way they set the stage for that, I just think that to me was like the perfect example of what WrestleMania is capable of being when you pair their spectacle with professional wrestling stories that make sense and work. So yeah, but favorite match is still the main event, which was, as a big fan of tag team wrestling, a big fan of the Usos, seeing Owens and Zayn do that together. I mean, that was special. Great stuff.
The thing about that, Joe, to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, is the show itself felt like a triumph of tag team wrestling because in the second match there was that 4-way with Ricochet and Braun versus the Viking Raiders versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy, which is like a really good showcase of the division and a really fun match. And then you close it out with like let's not take this rant. In front of over 60,000 people, they main evented a major show for the tag team championships, and like it felt like an actually important thing that like people sincerely cared about. So much so that when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn won this, it felt like really triumphant and like poignant, so to speak. So,
well, I'm loving this show already. This is great. I love it.
I mean, it just sincerely is a really good event, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, which
for sure.
Yeah, that match was
pretty fan. I had no hope for this actually because I'm very down on Charlotte's recent work, especially when you're mostly exposed to her TV stuff. And I'm thinking, all right, this build is whatever. The fans don't even want to cheer, but for the supposed babyface here, they want this to main event. It doesn't deserve the main event. So I was pretty low going into this.
Because you know why? Charlotte has the Impact Carl Anderson mindset now. She's like 8,000 people. She's like 60,000 people. I'll turn it up. 8,000 people. Nah.
It's very apparent. And so I'm watching this match, and it started out pretty decent. Then it gets good. Then it gets very good. And then like at the end, they're like literally suplexing each other and like doing head bumps. And Charlotte got like she splat her face right on the mat and shit. And it was like, holy fuck, this is turning into like an excellent wrestling match. What's going on here? And it got so great that when it ended, I was like, wow, I feel bad for the rallying for the Usos to main event. I don't know if they could follow that. And then they followed it and had an even better match. So
Charlotte got that look in her eyes,
Right.
Rob says 60,000 people. Stadium Charlotte. There's TV Charlotte. There's premium live event Charlotte, which is, I'd say, is a little bit better. But then Stadium Charlotte, when she gets that look in her eyes, it's,
looks up at that WrestleMania sign.
I think as an individual show, this is I'd say this is slightly the best WrestleMania of all time, personally speaking. I have this like probably just because of how like joyous and celebratory it is when you come out of it. I think this is the best one, slightly over 17 and 19, which are great shows, but like you don't come out of it like just like pump like feeling like warm inside, I guess is the word, the phrase to use. Like Austin turns heel at the other show, and then the other one, it's like a concussed Kurt Angle is holding up a concussed Brock Lesnar, and they both don't know where they are. But yeah. I agree with Joe. I think this is my show of the year. It's funny that Forbidden Door got on here, but not Wrestle Dream, because I thought Wrestle Dream was a better show than Forbidden Door.
Me too. Yeah,
I thought Wrestle Dream was pretty fucking incredible.
So I listened to all that drone rapping.
You did. I was quite impressed.
Very nice.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell y'all why y'all are wrong, right?
Sure, talk.
Joe,
what's the best show of the year?
As sweet as it is that it brought a tear and fluttered your wrestling fan heart that Dom Mysterio got spanked in the middle of the ring as a grown man. I was disgusted. The wrestling in that match was not good. All right, Jey Uso versus Dean Jericho. Who could possibly give a fuck?
You've never seen it.
You've never seen it.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof, Rob? Do you have proof? Do you have evidence? Do you have evidence that I've never seen this match?
Yes, we do.
Show me. Put it up on screen.
You said it on the
I'm not putting the group
Unless
chat
you
on
have evidence, I've never seen this match. Sit down and shut up. Know your role and shut your mouth. All right. It's a cute little tag team match, right? It's a cute little tag team match. I've seen the Young Bucks put on better matches on Road to Dragon Gate shows in 07. All right. Stop playing with my goats. Second of all, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Charlotte went out there, big star, did what she had to do, put the kid over. Good for her. All right. Charlotte just gives back so much to the business. The insinuation that she doesn't try on television is disgusting. Maybe we need to look at the leadership of Triple H and why he can't get his athletes to put their best foot forward instead of blaming them, instead of blaming an
this is a
all-time great.
remarkable angle.
All right, maybe we should look at Triple H. Why is he not able to motivate his guys and girls in the locker room? Is it because he has iron crosses on his wrestling gear? Is Charlotte uncomfortable with that? We need to look into this. All right. What was the other match y'all put over? I think those were the only three.
Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul was quite good. It was quite good.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was one of Logan Paul's most boring matches in WWE.
That's not true.
Yes, it was.
It's his second best match, probably.
The Miz match was literally better. And the Miz is an abomination to the business.
Miz is the worst wrestler of all time, but I actually think Logan and Seth was his second best match.
So I'm gonna let y'all know which one. What is the correct?
Yeah, what is it?
Is it Revolution? Is All Out?
You tell us.
It's not Forbidden Door. I don't know, man.
Revolution is better than All Out.
Look, all I'm gonna say is AEW Revolution, Bryan Danielson and MJF put on the greatest Iron Man match of all time, 60-minute Iron Man match of all time.
Absolutely.
And Hangman match was a better match than that. So I'm gonna have to go with Revolution. All right, because the greatest Iron Man match of all time was the second best match on the show. So that just tells you what kind of grappling was occurring on this momentous occasion. All right,
I'm gonna jog your memory. I'm gonna jog your memory. On that show was by far the greatest House of Black match of all time.
Yeah,
their match with the Elite is incredible.
Look, this is just what the Elite does. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna
give it to them because, dude, like, we see other House of Black Trios matches. They don't be looking like that. You know?
They don't.
No. They don't be looking like that.
They try to go 30 on Collision with CMFTR. We saw that was Chinese water torture. That's not even just the agendas talking.
I can't lie. That was the most cap.
I was out there bored out of it. Come on, bro. What were we?
I threw a cat 3.75 at that finish.
Bro, House of Black trying to work heel is like,
yo, Malachi.
Malachi working knee bars. Yeah.
And my go-to, they did what they do best, bro. For the health of the company, to get some titles on that shitty little punk rock collision show. They say, here, little niggas, y'all can have these trio tags, bro.
How about Kenny Omega made Brody King look like Vader? Like they worked that match. It's still a vivid memory, and I've never rewatched it. They worked the match so good to where they create a final boss within the match itself, which is Brody King, that they had to overcome. And like Kenny's selling his ass off and he's trying to, land a debt in this dude, and like it takes everything, and they build the stuff where it's like finally when he takes a bump later, it's like holy shit. Buddy Matthews is doing some things. Malachi Black, he kind of has some juice in there. And then Jungle Boy versus Christian in that Buried Alive match was fucking tremendous.
Awesome.
I actually think from a match quality standpoint, top to bottom, there's no wrestling show this entire year from any promotion, including AEW, that has that many like incredible, just great match. I think I gave like 5, 6, 7 matches 4 stars or something. It was staggering.
My favorite part of the entire show was when Brian was sitting in the corner and he had literally was just like, yeah, I'm never gonna do the yes chant again, actually. And then he started doing it. And then when I thought he was about to win,
if there's anything that hurts Revolution in terms of its relevance to the year and in people's memories and consciousness, is that it's not the most important feeling show, especially now that we're at the end of the year. Like people don't like it. It didn't like necessarily like shift anything within the promotion, or it didn't crown anybody. It didn't like create a big thing that affected the rest of the year from a domino effect standpoint. But just as a show, it's incredible. Charlie,
hold on before we get to Chuck. I need to say this about WrestleMania Night 1, bro. If we're going to talk about the highs, we got to talk about the lows from that show, bro. How could the show of the year possibly have Austin Theory versus John Cena? How?
That was very funny, to be fair.
Do you want a sincere response, or are you just getting this off?
No, I don't want a sincere essay response from you, because the answer is it can't. And then also, bro, come on. Are we going to act like Becky, Lita, and Trish versus Damage Control wasn't an abomination? Are we going to pretend that wasn't an abomination as well? These are two genuinely terrible wrestling matches. So it can't win show of the
No,
year,
they're
bro.
not terrible.
Yes, they shut up, bro. Yes, they are. And if I find your messages on the show, if I find the spiteful things you've said about those poor women in that 6-man tag match, if you don't walk that right now, I'm posting it on my timeline.
I dare you.
All right. All right.
Charlie, what do you think was the show of the year?
Mine's Revolution. Because I just remember I don't know whether it's because I was there or not, so I might be a little bit biased, but the vibes for the Iron Man match were just unreal in the building. And it has a lot of like matches that I really enjoyed on, so it's my match. Like the only thing that I like properly remember from Mania Night 1 is the main event. Everything else I didn't really care about. But I guess that's what happens when you focus mainly on one promotion anyway. So
why is Revolution to you better than All Out?
Just overall, like, because I've watched the show back now. Just overall, it was consistently more engaging than All Out was to me. Like, there was more matches on it that like appealed to me personally. Like All Out, there was a few matches that I didn't really care about. But yeah, All Out was still really good. I think that's the second best.
Yeah, the highs were higher on Revolution. I think the absolute best matches on that show, I think were better. And I say that something was at the Chicago show, but yeah. I mean, AEW had a great year on pay-per-view. Right? You know, that goes without saying. So
they had a better 2023 on pay-per-view than 2022, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by far the biggest positive for them this year, outside of like just the elevation of Swerve, is that like if someone asks like what's the best thing about AEW in 2023, I would say creatively what's been accomplished with Swerve, and that their pay-per-views outside of like Double or Nothing and like the ending of Full Gear were excellent.
Yeah,
Monty, what I will say about All Out is like going into that pay-per-view, like we were all talking. I was like, who could possibly give a fuck about this show?
Yeah,
bro?
Right.
Like the card didn't look great. We just had All In last weekend. Not only did the card not look great, like AEW wasn't really treating it with any like importance either. Like I know it's hard to like promote two shows at the same time, but it's just like nobody cared about All Out. Like I know Ibu called it like In Your House Chicago or something like that. Like that was the vibes going in. Every single match overperformed. So
you know what happened?
All Out.
All Out. And it ended up being a really, really, really good show.
When I asked Charlie, did I say All Out or did I say All In?
You said All Out.
I meant to say All In, the Wembley. I meant to say Wembley. Fuck.
Oh, I have opinions about All In. Like
right, because I was gonna say because All Out was great in my opinion. All
Out was great.
What are your opinions on Wembley, Charlie?
It was good vibes. Being there was a lot of fun.
Punk match was good.
Retrospectively, it was.
There's only two matches worth going back to. I think for universally for all wrestling fans, not for me because I would never rewatch that Punk versus Joe match. God bless Joe, but he tried his best. But me personally, no. But there's only two matches that's worth going back to for that whole pay-per-view, and that's Punk versus Joe and Ospreay versus Jericho. It was
good.
It like I know we were trying to get the boys on the card and everything this year, but let's tighten down the hatches. Let's get some battle royales going next year.
Y'all didn't
that's what the elite booked the first all in. So let's do it again, bro.
Y'all didn't like
now,
Stadium
we can't do all these multi-mans. Like it just doesn't work.
Like Stadium Stampede.
I didn't really
I liked it more.
I did like Stadium Stampede.
In the building, it was tough for me personally because I couldn't. That was tough for a lot of the building. Couldn't see what was going on. You know.
Absolutely.
It was very good when I rewatched it though. Very good.
Yeah. So
but I really go back and rewatch Stadium Stampede. I actually absolutely love anyway. So it's not like Not that I like dislike the match format. I think it's one of those things you watched it once, you had a great time, and it's like, all right, let's move on. The first Anarchy in the Arena is something that I've rewatched on multiple occasions.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm an idiot. When I was saying All Out earlier, I meant to say All In. I think All Out actually is pretty special. I think it's a special show because there was just a lot of negativity enshrouding the company at the time, and the build was horrendous, and the card was kind of lackluster. And there was obviously the elephant in the room of they just fired CM Punk and they're going into Chicago. And when you
it was the best of times.
But the point I'm making is like in context, it was like this is a lame duck pay-per-view. and then everybody just kind of put their best foot forward, I thought. And there's like numerous like great matches on the show that you could mention, like the Danielson match, Omega Takeshita, the main event, obviously with Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley. But the one I want to just point out, Monty, Will Hobbs and Miro was one of my favorite pay-per-view matches of the year. That shit ruled. Like,
it also had that an AEW pay-per-views seldom have like great angles. The MJF Joe angle in the building was a big moment that changed the atmosphere quite a bit. That was definitely something that people reacted to in a way that I think they wasn't ready for, you know? Like, so yeah, that was a great show. Absolutely.
What's your show of the year, Monty?
Probably Mania not one.
Look at this piece of shit pretending like you were struggling.
Hold on.
Figure out what his show of the year.
I want to talk about. That's not actually the event I want to talk about because we spoke. You guys spoke about that at length. Yeah, we spoke about AEW as well. We spoke about a few AEW pay-per-views. There is a non-AEW WWE pay-per-view on here, and it is Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom. And you want to talk about like depth of great matches on a show? This is like, I'd put this almost on par with Evolution in that sense. There's like 6 4-star matches on that show.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and obviously for the fact that a company as small as Stardom makes a list like this, which obviously we know that our following and fan base is like mainly WWE and AEW fans, because of course, like, and I know we try and cover Joshi, we have the weekly guide, and Peps does the results, he does the weekly guide as well. But, you know, we have the podcast as well, Don't Go Live, and, you know, we do try, but for them to make these nominee lists, I think it's very impressive, and I thought Queendom was an absolutely tremendous show. I remember one of my favourite shows of the year, to be honest, genuinely, because of the depth of great matches on it. And Mina versus Saya, I remember enjoying that a lot.
There was a lot of variety too.
Mercedes was on the show.
She was in a 3-way, correct?
Tam versus Julia, I went like 5 1/4, bro.
Yeah, Tam Julia.
It's a shame that like after Stardom had the year they had in 2022, and then probably had like the greatest All-Star Grand Queen of all time. It's just like
the injuries.
The rest of the year, bro.
Yeah.
You know the problem is they have because every day you're seeing a clip on the timeline from a taping they're doing. They do so many tapings. That's how people get hurt.
They run shows constantly. They don't update them online.
Yeah,
people aren't showing up. They just had a show that had 114 people in the building, and like the injury problem is
Rossi
like
tweeted about it.
Insane. Yeah, Rossi put the number out there. He was like, "We know what the problem is. It's time to stop tiptoeing." But
well, nigga, you're booking the shows, nigga. What are you talking?
Like Laz in the comments said they did way too many shows in between the tourneys, and even those, and like the tourneys are way too long. Like they're
they have like
booking way too
7
many
tournaments
matches.
a year.
Yo, Joe, Rossi grabbed the mic and said, "It's bullshit like that. That's the reason this company's in the state it's in."
But yeah, just Queendom main matches: Maika versus Himeka, Mina versus Saya, Shuri versus Hash, Mayu versus Mercedes, Tam versus Julia. It's all the same show.
This show was godly, yo. Now that I think, damn, this show was godly.
That show was awesome, bro.
It's probably the best top to bottom wrestling card of the year.
That's like the Joshi cards they talk about of Legend in the early 90s, like those Dream Slams or something, where there's like where you open up cage match and like the bottom 6, it's like 8s and 9s all over the place, you know.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop sneaking them UWFI matches in them conversations, though. I can't cap.
Why?
Some of those are pretty bad.
It's an acquired. It's a taste thing. It's a taste thing. You know, I like shoot style wrestling.
No, obviously.
Let's go through some super chats, though, because you know, we gotta get into it. We need 30 minutes in. We haven't read a super chat yet, so like I said, keep your own opinions coming as well. We want to know who you guys will be voting for or who have already voted. Bud the Builder, $2. Ace still did an interview with Rip Rogers, LMAO. I'm ashamed to say I will probably seek that out.
Yeah, there's no need to spoil what's happening on Worldwide on Monday, bro. Take it easy.
But the builder, appreciate it. This year's Booker of the Year debate will be interesting emoji.
I'm tagging out on that one. I'm going back.
No, you're not. We're going right. This is roundtable discussion. Rockhard Joel Wood, 499. Appreciate you. Ibu, the resident punk expert. I gotta know. Is he enjoying being back in WWE? Like, genuinely, I hope he is.
Yeah, he feels like he, quote, is riding on the edge of a lightning bolt, and he's having a really good time, and he's very humbled by the fan response and the just how it's going commercially, because he wasn't totally sure if he still had that in him from a needle moving standpoint, and he's just very happy with this time so far. And if it was up to him, he'd do every show, including house shows.
No 2 million.
He'd if literally, like, if it was up to him, he would just be on every show, including NXT. Like, he would just.
Oh wait, speaking of no 2 million, let me get my shit about you fucking freaks who yelled at me because that obviously wouldn't hit 2 million on Monday Night Raw because the Monday Night Football game is still gonna draw. You said no, it's just the Bears, it's just the Packers. Cry more, pussies. I was right, you was wrong. I'll accept apologies in cash.
Keep
They
that
did
in
do.
mind.
They
Anyway,
did do.
anyway.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares?
Keep it going. Hush 199, appreciate it. Everyone's a body language expert nowadays, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, especially
Hush
me.
again. 199, appreciate it. LOL TNA, never change. TNA, never change.
Yo, talk to me when you read the DSM-5.
We went from the pie in the sky hope of Punk and Ospreay and TNA to the very likely reality that one of these shows is going to get main evented by Moose versus Trent Seven. Relatively
I
soon.
hope you guys enjoy. God bless.
Bro, you want to
I
kill
will not
I've never been more
Ayo in the
ecstatic
group
about
chat.
signing.
Bro, Ayo in the group chat when we all found out that Trent Seven had been signed to Impact. Ayo put in the group chat, Charlie just got a shock in the spine and she don't know why.
Bro, I woke up and that was like one of the first tweets that I saw. I was just like, oh, thank the heavens. He is finally out of Brit Rest. I can breathe easy.
Did you guys see what they put Okada in?
Oh, TNA's so back. It's so back.
What the fuck?
That match is gonna rule. And
They
you
put
just
him in a
wrong.
match. What the fuck is that?
I don't know why anyone's shocked. This is the most TNA thing they could have done with Okada.
Brother,
Like, what is
they
this?
put the
TNA
titles
One
on
Night
British
Stand?
Invasion.
Is this a tribute episode? Like,
Brother, they put the IWGP belts on British Invasion. We're back.
what the fuck?
We'll have
It's
to
kind of
wait and see how it plays out for him. But
It's gonna be mid, Monty.
you know, optimism's not very high right now. David Weimer, $5, appreciate it. God, that Triple H SummerSlam 22 to WrestleMania Night 1 run has to be one of WWE's best periods of all time. What do you think, Ibu and Rob?
I'll be the boss of that. Let me see these papers.
It is yeah. The pay-per-views felt very important. Clash of the Castle in Cardiff is now a pretty underrated show, honestly. It's
Pretty bad.
every big business. The shows felt important. The pay-per-views, just the storytelling across the pay-per-views was strong. All that shit. Quite frankly, in general, this is the most productive, positive feeling I've felt about WWE's product in my adult life, because for a lot of my adult life, it's been largely terrible. So
We don't wrestle, we make movies.
I don't know about that. Maybe, but yeah, that stretch is strong.
Bro, we have Night 2 on here, which is an all-time bad show.
No,
What else we got? What else we got here? We got Night of Champions. Hey, man. Those Saudi shows are y'all thing. God bless. What else we got on here? Great American Bat. Oh, that was NXT. Never mind.
I think you're looking at the
Only
wrong.
a few shows. Pretty terrible shit.
He's not even looking at the right list.
Yeah.
Night of Champions is not a part of this run that he's listing.
Cry more.
All right. Murph YouTube, appreciate you as always, brother. Member of the Dungo Law family, 199. Sweet Heat, Wrestler of the Year.
Monty, are you aware of the Sweet Heat meme?
I'm not.
Ayo, do you care to explain the Sweet Heat meme to Monty?
Not really.
Fuck
There
it.
you go. Showtime
Great
Spurs,
audio.
$10.
That rolls.
Showtime Spurs, $10. Appreciate you.
Who cares? Like,
good business.
All Out is mine. I'm assuming Show of the Year. Biased because I was there, but the atmosphere is probably the best I've seen at a show, especially with everything else going on. Made for an incredibly unique experience.
True.
Great
Absolutely.
Yuzura Hart, $10. Appreciate you as always. Gonna say it all out. Punk got fired and people swore the crowd was gonna cry all night. It looked spooky for the dub. Then Danielson, Omega, Mox, and Orange went berserk, and everybody moved on.
Talk.
Great show, man. Great show.
I think actually, fuck it. Next, let's go next.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Walker, £2, appreciate it. Any show with Cena versus Fury, WrestleMania Night 1 should win.
Darren, that's so
I gotta
tough.
say, when I rewatched that show though, it was really cute. Like there was a bunch of disabled kids on the stage who got to like be there for John Cena's
His
entrance.
entrance was fucking awesome,
Yeah,
you know.
his entrance was it was just really nice. You know,
He's
like,
really just like the greatest sports entertainer of all time. Like he's really not really like.
I'm just
at all.
saying, I like because when I rewatched it, and I just saw that like it's just cool. You know, it was just really cool.
Cena's just so much better. I'm sorry.
Hush. $5, appreciate you. Punk's promo was about the main event of WrestleMania. Is he talking about night 2, the legit main event, or would he be satisfied with a night 1 main event?
Well, he's not made of it. Come on.
He's gonna have to be satisfied with night 1,
Bro.
unless he's working Big Rome. He ain't closing night 2, bro.
We're gonna have to be honest about these night 1 main events one of these days.
What do you mean?
Until they put a main event on night 1 that could realistically main event night 2, it's not a WrestleMania main event, brother.
Hey,
Kevin Owens and Stone Cold.
Steve Austin and KO.
that could main event any show on any planet.
It could, but not with the build that they did, bro.
Yeah, it could.
Honestly, Roman would allow them to.
If that closed
Roman
night
would
2, if Brock and Roman closed the first night, and Austin and KO closed night 2, nobody would bat an eye.
I'd say it was bad.
Here's my question on this topic. Monty, could you see a reality? Could you see a reality where just for whatever reason, it's just how things just go? Punk and Seth just feels bigger than Roman Cody come time for the show.
Nigga.
And they do wait, hold on.
What?
Roman doesn't come to work, you know?
Oh,
We're talking about Seth freaking here.
like, what do you want me to, like, yo, are you gonna wait? Hold on. Are you gonna cry like all year that Roman doesn't come to work? Hey, guess what? He doesn't come to work and he still makes more money than your favorite wrestler.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Because the chat's crying saying that I disrespected Sasha versus Bianca, who are 2 of my favorite wrestlers of all time, regardless of gender. The build was about Reginald the sommelier. All right, so I'm disrespecting them by saying that I couldn't main event night 2 when they literally built it around Carmella and Reginald. All right, WWE disrespected them.
I've just brought up Chris. Rob, get back on camera, man. You're freaking me out.
Yeah, it's kind of throwing me off.
All right.
Yeah, I've just brought Chris up. Hopefully, he's actually here this time. He won't speak in the background last time. Okay, he's here. Chris, what's your show of the year, buddy?
All Out.
All Out. We got an All Out vote on the panel. Why? Why is All Out better than Revolution?
Well, I was going through the extreme highs of CM Punk getting fired just a couple days before. Just exhilarating. Also, I didn't have high expectations going into that card. So I was like maybe the most pleasantly surprised I've ever been watching a wrestling show. I thought there were no really bad matches, just some okay matches. I thought Kenny and Takeshita was like a top 10 match of the year for me. And I think that match is starting to become kind of underrated, how people aren't really talking about it as much anymore. The FTR Bucks tag was one of the I don't think it's one of the best matches of the year, but it's like the funnest match I've watched all year. Had a crazy atmosphere. CM Punk got fired. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but that was a great thing that happened a couple of days before, which influenced my take. And yeah.
There we go, people. There we go. Show of the year 2023. We got through a few super chats, so I've got a couple more, but we're going to keep it moving. So, Natty 199, appreciate it. Either our boys, Cody and Punk, will cook at WrestleMania 40.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful stuff. My 2 favorite wrestlers in the world right now are both going to main event nights of WrestleMania, and deservedly so. So,
You
looking
speak
forward
so
to that.
confident as if Punk will make it there.
Inshallah, he will make it there.
We'll see if he survives his first Manic episode.
Anyway, Anyway. Darren Walker, £2. Appreciate it as always. Grado should win All In Battle Royal 2024. Should he?
Who?
I just remember they did a Grado angle on the pre-show of All In.
I still don't know who that is.
You should thank the universe and God.
Rockard Joel Wood, $4.99. Appreciate it as always. Any update on Mercedes Moné possibly returning to WWE?
No.
Hush, $2. Appreciate it. 2024, most important year for AEW perception wise? Question mark.
Yes.
I think
Everyone's
every.
already
I think,
made their mind up, bro.
I think
Let's be
every. I
honest.
think every. I don't think there's such thing as a most.
I disagree, Joe. You know what it is,
Brother,
so, look,
let's be honest. Everyone has made their mind up. We're gonna say yes because it will give us more. But people, they either like AEW or don't at this point. You know, they're not gonna convince anyone. It is what it is.
All right, allow me to explain. So, I look at the story like CNN when they zoom in on the states and zoom in on like the blue voters and the red voters and analyze it. So here's the deal: those weird anti-AEW cornet pilled freaks are far gone. You will never change how they feel. Fuck them, right? From the standpoint of trying to flip them, right? There are a lot of people in 2023 that no longer believed in the vision of AEW in good faith because they just felt like the promotion wasn't giving them what they thought what they fell in love with and what they were getting previously. Those people can absolutely be flipped right back because those people are just disillusioned because they think, oh, my alternative is gone. And we're already seeing it a little bit with how the Continental Classic is trending and how that's already helping their TV. So if AEW continues to go back in that direction, those moderates who are just really happy with what AEW is giving them can absolutely come right back on board, in my opinion.
No, I think that's fair. I guess to me, it's like we talk so much about perception and momentum, but a lot of that stuff is what it's going to be, especially while WWE are red hot. But your point is absolutely fair. Yeah, there's the Continental Classic. I think has made me kind of forget where we were at 2 months ago with the conversation. Right?
Yeah,
so absolutely.
It was spooky.
Yeah, that's fair. Good call.
Yuzura Hart, $2. Appreciate it as always. Seth's already mentioned Colt. It's over, Bill.
That was a no-no. And he did do that.
Oh, what a beast! I hope he does it to his face.
And Punk retaliated on Friday, and he just called him that other guy. So.
All right, we were talking about Rookie of the Year. We were talking about Rookie of the Year before we dive straight in because, like we said, it's not quite as stacked as last year's nominee list. So let's just get into it. Rookie of the Year 2023 at the WrestlePurists Awards. Lola Vice, Yuma Anzai, Kalani Jordan, Toga, and Hanako, I believe is the pronunciation. Hanako's from Stardom, Toga's from Tokyo Joshi Pro, Lola Vice obviously from NXT, Kalani Jordan also from NXT, Yuma Anzai is from All Japan for those who don't know. Definitely not as big of names as last year. Lola Vice may just win this on being just like the most widely known,
Joe.
Maybe some other reasons as well, but I think she's probably gonna win this. I think from a talent perspective, what I've seen of Yuma Anzai, which hasn't been a lot, but he does look like a very good rookie. So I'd be inclined to think maybe him. Kalani Jordan is coming along very, very nicely, but she only debuted like halfway through the year, I think. So it's tough, and I haven't seen much of the Joshis. So this is, like I said, this is a definite different list of rookies compared to last year, isn't it, Joe?
It is, yeah. Incredible analysis there, Monty. I appreciate that.
Joe, can you tell me more about this Toga? I know you're the expert there on Tokyo Joshi Pro. Could you kind of help that one?
That was unnecessary, especially at this hour. But nonetheless, Yuma Anzai is a wrestler who I've seen maybe 5 to 6 matches. I reviewed one for the prestigious WrestlePurists Match Guide with Kento Miyahara. And this is the best way I could explain why I'll take my vote, even with such little kind of actual experience watching him. He's the kind of rookie where you would never assume or guess he's a rookie unless you knew that context going in. He's way ahead of what you would expect based on his experience level. Fundamentally, he's like already completely on point. He's just finding who he is generally as a wrestler and up the card. But he had a singles match with Miyahara that he put some time in, and he totally belongs. So Yuma Anzai, to me, from what I'm aware of these candidates, is the one that jumps out. I agree with your assessment that Lola Vice will win. the reasons for that we'll leave there. But Lola Vice's got a lot of potential also, in all seriousness.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not mad that she made the nominee list
No,
at all, to
no.
be honest.
It's just the way you phrased it, Pop. I want to be clear about that. But
Yeah, cool.
Yuma Anzide is, even with only watching a handful of his matches, jumps off the page because he's just way better than his experience level would suggest.
Anybody else got any kind of any feelings of this on this rookies list? You know,
Only
Not a lot
one.
to be said here. I think we can move on.
Lola
Only-
Vice is extremely talented.
Only one woman beat an AEW quarter this year. Now, I'm not going to say who it was.
Can you? Because I don't know who you're talking about.
Shout out Big Lola Vice, Rookie of the Year.
Big Lola.
big.
Sounds like a nickname a kid in my class would get like 20 years ago. You know?
Best striker in the
No.
WWE, brother.
She is.
No, you know.
It's funny because like, she actually is like. She actually
She's an
is
actual,
like.
yeah, she's an
Yeah,
actual prospect.
she actually is like a pretty decent prospect from a rookie point of view, you know.
100%
But
she
it's
is.
like, of course, like the go-to thing is, you know.
She's also like,
obvious.
she's having a very, and this is not a criticism, but it is a very NXT start, right? Like in the way like her matches are length and such. It's just comparing her and someone like an Anzai, it's they're like doing different things. Yeah, it's not a
Unhinged.
knock in either direction. It just it's very hard to do.
Well, she's going to be wrestling Lyra Valkyria soon, you would assume, because she's got a breakout contract. Hopefully that gets a bit of time and you can really get to see where she's actually at, because she does look like a prospect and somewhat promising from what we've seen so far. But like Joe mentioned, she hasn't really had the time to do anything.
Monty. Biff is going to put that together. They're going to practice that shit for 3 weeks. It's going to go 12 minutes. It's going to get an 8.7 on Cage Match. It's going to be about 3.25 stars. And Joe will be forced to review this. And he will say that Vice is very quite her striking is solid, and Lyra, she still struggles to kind of find the right pace for these main events, and you know. And he calls it a good match, and then on the spreadsheet he throws that 3. You know, this is what's going to happen.
You say this like I do that 4 times a week. That's crazy. Wow.
My favorite thing is to read the Joe match guide and see him like, you know, sound like the most encouraging teacher. Kind of, he's just like, I thought this was good, and I go to the WrestlePurists ratings chat and just to see what the number was for it, and I'm like, oh, let's go.
2 3/4.
Yeah. I think you did that last week.
I did.
He does it a lot. Kalani Jordan, very promising. Like I said, only 6 months in, she's made this list. You know, like I said earlier, there wasn't exactly a huge pool to choose from this year. I don't really think. Kalani Jordan, 6 months in, very promising. She looked all right yesterday as well in the Women's Iron Survivor, although that match wasn't particularly the greatest showcase of what they were trying to do in that division, you know. But I thought Kalani actually looked all right in it. Yeah, man, that's the rookies, people. I can't really talk on Toga and Nako, but you know, I'll get a review off Jamie.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jamie.
Yeah,
guy on that one.
I'll get a review off Jamie. All right. If no one else has got anything else to add on the Rookie of the Year, I think we'll move on. And we will move on to Best Non-Wrestler of the Year. So we have Prince Nana. We have Paul Heyman. We have Samantha Irvin, Renee Paquette, and Nigel McGuinness. Different people that do different things. We've got 2 managers, we've got a backstage interviewer, we've got a commentator, and we've got an announcer. So a nice little mix there, you know.
Where's Kathy?
How the fuck Samantha Irvin get on here?
People love her, bro.
Come on.
People love her, you know.
Monty, do you remember one day you randomly just DM'd me? There's no way Gunther possibly enjoys this announcing of this. All you hear was like, the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. And Monty DMs me like, he could not, there's no way that he...
Listen, like I said, people really enjoy what she does. She does have a very good voice. Some of her quirks that she does just aren't quite for me, but I think that's what a lot of people do like about her, that she does put her own personality into something like announcing, which is, I guess it is a positive thing. But yeah, a lot of people love Samantha Irvin, evident by her being nominated for this award. So at least a lot of people in our following enjoy her work, and like I said, WWE fans absolutely love Samantha Irvin. So that's one. We've got Renee. Renee, if she's working, she's always going to have a chance of being on a list like this, because Renee is just really good. She's just really good. People just really like her as well. I don't think there's many wrestling fans, if any, that dislike Renee. Forget, she's great.
Before I forget, I got to mention the best Renee moment of the year. That backstage segment, it maybe was around All In time with her, Moxley, and Eddie Kingston. That was so fucking good. So good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Samantha, Renee, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's just
Paul Heyman, man.
Yeah, so it's very similar to like Renee. If he's active, there's always a very good chance he can make a list like this.
Right.
Then when you're the wise man to the biggest star in the business, and you have to carry a lot of the TV when he's not there, from his point of view, it's he's always active. Paul Heyman. People look forward to his segments. Still, his segments and stuff still feel big. Heyman's Heyman, bro. You can't.
He spent the last 6 months of the year just like stuttering and sweating and grabbing his phone to call people. Like he's just all right, and he just fucking like
call Roman Reigns.
He does that fucking like his hand starts to twitch a bit. He acts like that motherfucker from the Transformers movies, the first couple ones. Like
I don't know if you've seen it, Ibu, but like they did a story. They basically did an underlying story. He was so stressed and his hair got so white from Roman.
I caught that,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, and then when Roman came back, he put the Just for Men in. That shit was
I saw
crazy.
that shit. Yeah.
Niggas trying to give this shit to Paul Heyman as a lifetime legacy award. Get that shit the fuck out of here, bro. First of all, he's barely worked this year, bro. So he's barely worked. When he's on screen, he's not really doing anything.
Hey, nobody said he's the winner.
I'm talking about people that are saying he's the winner.
Okay.
Try to relax, bro. I know when people say things negatively about WWE, it riles you up. But just try to calm down, bro. I'm just putting my opinion out there. Okay, Ibu? Am I allowed to continue?
Go ahead, Ayo.
Anyway, this is not a lifetime legacy achievement award. Paul Heyman is probably the greatest manager of all time. He didn't do shit this year. If I asked you for your top 5 favorite moments, you wouldn't have shit to tell me. You got to give it to Nana, somebody who's helped create bona fide main eventer, bona fide future world champion. He's extremely over. He has a bunch of white people dancing off beat. He pops people all over the place. He has a challenge on TikTok, bro. He's been going crazy, bro. He's been going crazy. That image of like all of Wembley doing the swerve dance like in the middle of a match is like stuck in my head. Like, how could you not give it to Nana? To see where he's gone from the embassy in like 05, bro, to like today is crazy. You would never think something like this would happen.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I think he's amazing.
Bro, I remember seeing him walk out on like the first Ring of Honor show, Prince Nana. And it's just, he's crazy. But yeah, I am inclined to agree with a lot of like what AL was saying, especially as far as Prince Nana's going, and even the sentiment of like it's not a lifetime award, like it's not a legacy award. But I do think there was a couple instances where you was kind of harsh on Paul either, because he did say that he's hardly been there. He has been there quite a lot. He doesn't take nearly as much time off as the person he's a wise man for. He's there most weeks. And he has had some moments, the Cody stuff, the stuff with Cena when he was putting over Solo. Like, he has had a couple moments, but I do agree with you that it probably should be Nana from my point of view, because of just kind of where he started and where he's ended up at the start, where he is at the end of the year. But, a little harsh on Paul here, but I do agree with your broader point, Nigel. I fucking love Nigel McGuinness, bro.
If we had commentator of the year, he'd run away with it, in my opinion.
This is my thing. I think Prince Nana's the right pick, to be honest, because of what he's meant to Swerve's character. I think they're such a great pairing, more than any of us could have predicted. But there's a couple of awards tonight where I'm just going to be outright biased, and this is one of them. Nigel McGuinness enhances Collision for me to like an embarrassing degree, to the point where there are shitty matches I watch just to hear what he comes up with to talk about. So, and like I've said this before, right? So I have to vote Nigel because I just think, to me, he is doing the best heel color commentator shtick in like years right now.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, even though like the AEW hardcore fans and like folks that are watching this are aware, I kind of think it's still going under the radar how good he is right now compared to the rest of his career. I think he's been a good announcer the whole time. After the first couple of years of Ring of Honor when he found his groove, but he's better than ever right now to me. He can still be analytical, but he's funny as hell. He's building the Danielson match better than most of the fellas are building their feuds on TV, right? Like,
Yeah.
So I vote Nigel while saying I kind of hope Prince Nana gets the award that he deserves because I think he's the actual rightful winner. Yeah,
Bro, the ways he comes up with shitting on Danielson is just so good, bro.
So incredible.
Yo, he said the one thing the other night where he was like, "Yo, no, Daniels is my second favorite wrestler in the tournament."
Yeah.
They go, "Who's your first?" Everybody else.
Yo, he said the same thing about the BCC too. He's like, "Oh, Daniels is actually my second favorite member of the BCC." And he's just everybody else combined number one. That shit had me howling, bro.
It's always funny when him and Christian are good at doing that type of stuff and like just keep not laughing, right? You know what I mean? Like Christian, when you watch him on the scrums, you just like, how do you not laugh at what you just said? You know, like
he was when they were like, how do you feel about your friend coming in? And he was like, I don't have any friends.
I usually hate heel commentary too because it's just like, the thing that's actually bad is good, guys. Like I'm saying, the bad guys are doing the right thing. You know? But like Nigel does it in like a witty and funny way. I actually enjoy it. It's like, oh, Nigel, you and your shenanigans up there, man.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking Michael Cole, who I just wanted to like.
Oh well, yeah, that was rough. He's brought like
Daniel Bryan the nerd.
He's basically like 80s WWF commentary, but he's like managed to adjust it to modern AEW, and it feels completely at home. It fits in. It's very impressive. Very impressive.
I think I'd be even more on board with Joe if I didn't innately have this like part of my brain now that's trained to just tune out American English commentary, which I've just kind of taught myself to do. But Nigel's awesome. I think but again on Prince Nana. When he reemerged at Ring of Honor, whatever that show was in June last year, I was thinking like, all right, that's cool nostalgia, but like him and Gresham was a weird thing, a weird pairing that lasted a day, right? And then they kind of threw him with the Gates of Agony, if I'm not mistaken. And when Swerve was paired with him, I did not expect that to click as well as it did. It just kind of felt like a thing to do because they just give people managers. And the way that they've enhanced each other and the way he complements Swerve's act cannot be understated. Like I said earlier, the big positive for AEW this year is just how much Swerve has been elevated. And a lot of it does have to do with what Prince Nana delivers in the presentation. So just as a manager, just with the quirks, the dance, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention We in the Money. We in the money. Fucking every time he does it, pay attention to this. Brian Cage, he snaps his fingers, and if you really look at it, it's never on beat. So much so that when I try to figure out what the beat to We in the Money is, because he'll be like, Brian, we in the money. We in the money. I'm like, what, bro?
I love Brian, dude. He's the awkward white guy in the group.
They rule.
Yeah, Charlie, who are you going to be voting for?
Oh, Prince Nana, hands down. It was a very easy pick for me. He's just been great this year. I remember the vignette he did with Sting so vividly. I can't even remember what they were building to. Oh, it was to the All In match.
Yeah.
And they were just in that room together, and just the act, like his acting in that was so fucking funny. He's just acclimated to this role so well. And like you guys have said, like he's helped elevate Swerve. Swerve's helped elevate him. It's been great for AEW. It's one of the best things to come out of the year, I think.
Yeah.
No, one of my favorite Nana moments of the year is when Hangman is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna steal your weed too," and Nana's like, "No, you're not. No, you're not gonna do that."
Oh, he looked genuinely distraught, bro.
Yeah.
I was
when he in the Texas Death Match, he's interfering and shit. And I'm watching the match and I'm like, this would be perfect if towards the end of the match, Hangman just fucking smokes him in some really spectacular fashion. And then he does. I'm like, I pump my I'm like, whoever laid this out to G. He's on the apron. He's caught in the crossfire. You know, he has no escape. He does a mini Nana dance right in the moment there. And then he catches a dead eye through a table.
And then he sold it too, bro. He skipped TV the next week, and then the week after that, he came out in crutches. What a fucking worker, man.
He's a worker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Best non-wrestler of the year. You know, I think there's one clear favourite on this panel. You know, but we do love Nigel. You know, we do love Nigel. All right, most improved 2023. Interesting category, quite competitive category as well, if I must say so myself. You have Yota Tsuji of New Japan, returned from excursion, had a huge year. He's just a different wrestler, you know. He's came a long way. He's like two different wrestlers if you compare him from, you know, last year to this year. Julia Hart, of course, the AEW standout that's improved a lot. The current TBS champion kind of is a cherry on top of the cake for her in that sense, you know. Dominic Mysterio, in ring has came a long, long way, man. And in general, really, obviously, all the heat that he gets, that helps, you know. But he's come a long way, Dominic Mysterio. Tiffany Stratton has kind of just continued her trajectory in terms of improvement, you know. She's just kind of doing what was expected of her, you know. Mariah May as well. Stardom, AEW's Mariah May. Yet to see her wrestle in AEW, but, you know, should be soon. Of course, she had a very good excursion, or whatever you want to call it. She was at Stardom for a while. And, she got a lot of good reviews there, and that's seemingly how she managed to get signed by one of the top two in AEW. So she clearly had a successful year as well. So, Ibu, who's caught your eye the most out of those five names?
So you said Dominic, you said Mariah May, you said Yota Tsuji, and who are the other two? I'm sorry.
Tiffany Stratton, Julia Hart.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I have, maybe this is a hot take. I think the biggest upgrade for Yota Tsuji hasn't been his bell-to-bell. It's just his presentation. I think he's always been a good wrestler. He's just cool now. He was a good wrestler that was lame. Or not lame, but just regular. And now he is a good wrestler that's like cool as fuck. And we see this all the time. You know, it's like comparing Steve Austin 1993 to Steve Austin 1996. So I guess his presentation has improved, but would that qualify for the award? I mean, I guess
of course it would.
Sure. His presentation is a massive upgrade.
He's got to fill the boots, bro.
Come on, bro.
What's up?
If we're going to ask if that qualifies him for the award, then just get Dom Mysterio off the list.
Well, that's the thing. That's where it turns into a conversation because now the question is, how much do you think Dominic has improved from a wrestling standpoint? And, you know, because it's weird. He was a bad wrestler with bad presentation that wasn't over. And then he turned into a wrestler who he's
still bad, but
I was going to say, it's one of those things where like they decided, okay, he's bad. We're going to weaponize this now. Now he's the bad wrestler that like we acknowledge he's bad and you boo him because of it. And he disrespected Ray. How could he? Fuck him, right? And then that turned into like heated matches because of like who he was. And I think at some point this year, though, over the course of this, in my opinion, he's just kind of found a lane for himself to work within, if that makes any sense. And so I by no means am saying that he's Eddie Guerrero. And I don't know if he'll ever be like a great wrestler or anything like that. But he kind of works within his means now. And he's pretty effective for what he does in the ring. And again, all his matches have heat. So when you put any babyface against him, they get more over in the match with Dominic. We've seen this with numerous people. So
God, I love this show. Oh my God.
Until I see Dominic Mysterio do anything commonly other than bumping feet for a luchador, I'm not saying he improved. And that's not agenda. That's my genuine opinion.
If he improves at those two facets of his game, which are huge for a heel in ring, how can you say that's not improvement? Like,
bro, his ass still cannot wrestle, bro. Let me see Dominic Mysterio do.
He had a good match last night, bro. Like,
let me see. What
we just said. He was just bumping and feeding.
What? What'd you say?
I said he had a good match last night, mainly doing what you said, bumping and feeding. You know, it's what
Bro,
heels do, especially of Dominic's
Alright, bro.
level. You know,
Dragon Lee is right about at best of the world level, especially at this luchador shit. I'm not gonna give him a pat on the back. We've seen what excellent wrestlers are able to get out of people. I mean, Ilya wasn't able to get anything out of Baron Corbin last night, but that was like
Aberration.
that was like aberration, bro. He usually can drag people to doing something pretty good. Dragon Lee is only what 28, like 15-year vet. Like him getting something out of Dom is not surprising. When I see Dom do anything good in the future, other than bumping and
his
feeding,
performance was good in it.
Yeah, the thing is, he has
the answer is huge Suge. Yoda Suji, bro. Bonafide main eventer. He should be the world champion right now going into Wrestle Kingdom. The fact that he's not is booking malpractice. The story that they're telling with Naito should just have Suji inserted. It would be so much better. The company would be in a much better place. People would be a lot more excited about New Japan right now. But it's simply not, bro. And to say that about a rookie, to say that a rookie should be the world champion heading into the company's biggest show of the year, and people were just like, well, yeah, it's true. That says a lot. Who's saying that Dom Mysterio should have the big belt?
I actually have seen.
There are fans still saying, get him off my television screen.
I have seen people pitch that for Dom.
And for those niggas, they can cry.
We know who those type of people are.
Right.
Like,
I'm not taking anything away from Yoda Tsuji. My whole thing is just that I just thought he was always good. Like I watched him as a young lion. I thought him and Yuya Uemura were the two standouts of their class. Like I was really, you could go to my account. I would tweet about these guys like 3 years ago about just how like promising they were. But yeah, if we're counting presentation and those types of things, you could absolutely take him. I don't even have
it's a whole package type deal.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't have to say too much about my case for Dom Mysterio. Y'all already know what it is. I already know what time
bro,
it is.
niggas talking about Yoda Suge has been wrestling for 5 years. He's still a young lion that just got back from excursion. If we want to do that, Dom Mysterio's been wrestling since like 2017.
That doesn't mean this isn't a rookie award, bro. It doesn't matter if you're a 15-year vet. If you change your gimmick and go strong style or something, and it works out for you, and
you've improved,
you're better this year than you was last year, then you can be nominated for the list. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie, 5-year vet, 10-year vet, 20-year vet.
Chris
It doesn't matter.
Was my 2022 most improved wrestler of the year. So, you know, like, he decided to become an all Japan like uncle, and he got hit his matches. I don't know. I don't feel that strongly about this, to be honest with you. Charlie, what do you think? Who's the most improved wrestler of the year?
I saw firsthand what they had Yota Tsuji doing in Rev Pro. He's my most improved this year. Like, just off the back of that, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, you weren't at those shows. You didn't see what they did to that poor guy.
They gave him a monk outfit, right? Like, they gave him a fucking monk.
He was in fucking Gideon's Grey, like, secondary group. He wasn't even in the main group. So, yeah, poor guy. But no, he absolutely should win this award, I think. Like, he hit the ground running, like, when he came back from excursion. And he's had some of the most memorable New Japan performances this year, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Joe?
I got Dom. I think. I remember being concerned that him and Ray wouldn't be able to pay off their angle in the match, and I certainly thought that once that angle was done, it would be tough for Dom to kind of maintain his role. And I actually think he's strengthened it since then, to be honest. So while I would never kind of accuse him of being a super worker by any means, I do think he's got very, very solid, and that is a big improvement where he was. And also, most improved, I don't think he's just bell to bell. I think his promo and such has come along. I think he's a really good heel. I thought he was one of the highlights of War Games the other week, just because he's willing to commit to being an actual heel. So, yeah, I
want to say the reason why the panel's not really giving Mariah May a lot of love is I don't think any of us, well, maybe Chuck and Joe, probably definitely Charlie. But the rest of us, we didn't know what the fuck she was doing in England, bro. We weren't watching those matches. Yeah. We don't know what she started at. I liked when she got to Stardom. I liked her. I liked her act. I liked her gimmick. I thought she was a pretty good worker. I don't think her trajectory from Stardom day one to the end of her run was enough for Most Improved award because I thought she was pretty good when she came in. And then why I wouldn't go with Tish Strat, who I actually do like, and is one of the people that I won't feel bad about, is I think that she's just having the like steady incline on her career that she's supposed to have. Like she was a really good rookie in 2022, and she's continuing to get better. She's not really there yet. Like I had issues with a couple of matches. Like she can do the spots, but like the wrestling is still like it's still coming along, and she's definitely gonna get there. I think she's gonna be a huge star, future WrestleMania Night 1 main eventer. But yeah, man, she's doing her thing.
It's like being a 14-point scoring athletic rookie to a 17-point scoring player in their second season, you know, for sure. Yeah, Tiff Strat, 17 a game, you know.
In the NXT environment, I'll give her a solid 19.
In the NXT
I think she's made pretty notable progress, to be fair.
She is. No, she is. She is, absolutely. I thought I'm the high man on her matches with Becky. So, you know, I thought they were both like really
I actually thought that Plunder match was really, really bad.
That's what I'm saying. I thought that was like really good.
I don't think the Plunder match. I think the part that took it out of it was the Barbie throwing.
That wasn't
took a lot of people out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, bro. Like, what are we doing here?
So, Yota Tsuji, Dominic Mysterio seem to be this panel's front runners. Julia Hart got a lot of love, you know. She's kind of leaps and bounds, man. I think all these people are very worthy nominees. So.
Shout out to everybody who got nominated.
For sure.
All right. Most underrated 2023.
Hold on.
Chad.
Actually, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Chad Gable, Gabe Kidd, Leo Rush, Speedball Mike Bailey, Daniel Garcia. What are you thinking, Charlotte?
Oh, I didn't expect it to be started. I've been going back and forth on this one because obviously Daniel Garcia is the one that everyone talks about. But I feel like within our circle of the community anyways, like it gets talked about so much that it would be kind of wrong to call him underrated at this point because we all know how good he is. My answer is Gabe Kidd, which probably shocks absolutely no one. I've been on the Gabe Kidd train for forever, to be honest. And then everyone finally realized when the War Dogs came about that how good he actually is. And people finally started paying attention to how much of a class wrestler he is. So I think he deserves it this year. He's done a really good job of establishing himself.
Yeah, man.
I think within our circle, most of the wrestlers are pretty properly rated, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Are we doing it like Observer style, where it's because most underrated in the Observer is like most underutilized, basically.
Yeah. I think this is a combination of underrated by fans and underpushed by the promotion.
My pick is what Charlie chose, by the way. I think Gabriel Kidd's really fucking good. He's really fucking good. So I'm like slightly getting tired of the shtick a little bit on social media, but he's awesome. And
it's awesome.
Have
y'all noticed there's like a section of New Japan fans that like hate Gabe Kidd, bro? Like they just never gave it. They never forgave him for like having a mental breakdown, bro. It's like one time. Like they just hate him, bro. Like, I'm sorry, bro. He's a beast.
Is Leo Rush on this? Is Leo Rush on this ballot?
Yeah.
That's my pick,
I'm gonna go with Leo because while you know I love Speedball, I love Garcia, I love a lot of these guys that are on this list, especially Gable. I just think that a lot of the shit that Leo has done this year has gone under the radar, specifically for like because you know every time he does something great, people just make the fucking retirement jokes all over again.
Yeah,
and it's just like the match that he had with Hiromu, his fucking BOS, like he's so fucking good, bro.
Yeah.
The first Hiromu match, not the BOSJ one, the first one was like godly.
Yes, it was. I'm with Rob. I'm voting Leo too. I think he's one of those guys who people have kind of made their mind up on, which make of that what you will. But he's honestly one of the most dynamic talents in the fucking game. If we're being real, and what he's capable of is crazy. And I think even beyond that part of it, what he showed this year and the way that he produced this year, I think was very, very encouraging. So, yeah, I got Leo.
You know what's funny, Joe? Leo Rush is the only wrestler that I've actually been in the crowd for to witness them get like actively heckled. It was like kind of insane.
Right.
I was at a
Yeah.
GCW show and people were just being like really fucking weird about him. You know,
That dude is still young too.
he's like
He's
20.
been around for so long.
30, yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
crazy.
he's not 30.
He's a special talent.
He's not
I'm
30?
also going Leo
And he's not
because
30, he's like 27.
yeah, he's really young. I'm also going Leo. The way that WWE and AEW fans treat him, it's fucking trash, bro.
Yeah.
The retirement jokes are garbage. He's one of the best juniors in the world, bro. I would have put him over Hiromu eventually, but it looks like his chapter in New Japan has ended for now. Which is unfortunate, bro. I think he still had a lot to do in that company. He was having a really awesome run. I would love to see him come back to AEW or even like headline TNA, not just X Division bullshit. But I like Chad Gable a lot. I love Chad Gable. I don't think he belongs on this list. He's not underpushed anymore, and he's not underrated by fans. He's probably going to dethrone Gunther. Gabe Kidd, he still has a ways. I love him, but he still has a ways to go, in my opinion. Like his look, I think could use some help. He's still getting better bell to bell and stuff. But I do love Gabe. Who else was on this list?
Speedball.
But yeah, Speedball. I mean, people love Speedball, bro. Like when we ask wrestlers for the rest of the year, like they're all like Mike Bailey. Well, 2022, I'm talking. They're like Mike Bailey. Like, people who know Speedball love him. So I wouldn't give it to him either. But Impact's not really doing it to him either. Yeah, I'm going with DG. DG is the only one that made me like waffle back and forth between him and Leo. But I just think like DG's like the future, but I think Leo Rush could be the now, and they're not presenting him as the now, which is my issue, which is why I think he's the most underrated. Like they're finally doing something with DG, thank God. Hopefully they continue doing it. But yeah, like people in our circle, they rate DG high. Like there's always the people that are like, oh, I don't get it, I think he's boring. But how often are they actually AEW fans? Or how often are they like Cornette dick suckers or like WWE fans that just don't even watch AEW, never seen DG wrestle? Like it's very rare that these are actually good faith takes. So
yeah, and some all very good wrestlers, to be honest, and the most underrated, which is as expected. Gable, Kidd, Rush, Bailey, Garcia. It's a shame that Garcia's ended up on a list like this, though, isn't it? If we're being completely honest,
each year has been very frustrating. It's been very frustrating. We can have a more positive outlook on it here now because the Continental Classic is kind of telling the story we were hoping for with Garcia, and it looks like things are on the right track. But there was a stretch during the middle of the year where it was like, this is brutal considering how talented that dude is, especially like he has so much potential. The worst thing, it would be better than him being out there struggling to go over than him just like sitting the bench, which he did for like a few months there in the summer. So I'm glad he's back in, and I think you're seeing the results pretty quickly here. So yeah.
All right, let's
free Speedball.
Let's move on to Best on Promos 2023. We have, this is just AEW and WWE in this one, MJF, Christian Cage, John Moxley, LA Knight, and Cody Rhodes. So MJF, of course, loads of people love MJF's promos. They can be quite divisive sometimes. Sometimes some of us more hardcore fans can get quite tired and sick of it, but we all know MJF. We all know what he's capable of. Even the people that are kind of not his biggest fans of his work, he's capable of doing some really, really great stuff. Christian Cage has been fucking tremendous and will probably win this award, I think. I think we'll stop on him and get into him quite a lot more. John Moxley, he's just one of the great promos of this. Ever since John Moxley, so like Dean Ambrose never really lit me on fire as a promo, but John Moxley is genuinely like one of the best promos of the past, 5 years, like comfortably, in my opinion. LA Knight is literally got himself a main event push off pretty much mic work. I know a lot of his stuff hasn't had like a load of substance compared to someone like an Eddie Kingston or John Moxley or someone. But at the end of the day, he's got himself very over, and like I said, he's got himself a main event push off it. And I really liked his stuff with Roman Reigns. His stuff with Roman Reigns was legitimately just good promo work, I thought. And Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes, you know.
Surprised you got the nomination over Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, Eddie Kingston. There's a few honourable mentions, to be honest, but that's the 5 we're going with. Ibu. Who jumps out to you, Ibu?
My choice is pretty easily John Moxley. I don't think he has the highs on the mic of some of these other guys. Actually, I don't think he has the highs of any of them on the mic. To be honest, off the top of my head, but he just consistently adds like life or death. This is the end of the world. Most important thing stakes to like every match. Maybe you could argue that you don't need to do that, but like he just makes every match sound like he's just going into a fucking gunfight or something. You know, like he'll look at the camera. He'll do these fucking 90 seconds promos where you get insight into like the psyche of John as a human being. He treats these like they're real. Because he said in an interview before that like for me to like be able to work right in wrestling, I have to like it has to make sense to me what I'm doing. It has to make sense to me, and basically he has to kind of relate to it. And so he kind of makes it make sense in his own world and what the match means to him. And so like that's why you'll sometimes get him telling these like random personal anecdotal stories in these promos. And I just think they're always fascinating. You know, it's as much just almost like live venting as it is a promo. But yeah, he's my pick, and I don't think any of his pre-taped promos to the camera have been bad at all. Most of them have been like pretty fucking tremendous. The Texas Death Match, the one he recently talked about where he was just saying how like, you know, he's losing feeling in his hand and like he's having a bad time. He's the man. He's the man, and he's one of the great promos ever, I would say, not just of this generation. I think he's just one of the best talkers of all time. And this is a great year for that, for John Moxley.
Joe Hulbert, I have a feeling you may be leaning towards Christian Cage.
I am. Yeah, everyone knows what I think of Mox as a promo. I think he is the best promo in wrestling. However, I have not been thrilled by his direction, like post the Hangman feud. Whereas with Christian Cage, I think it's the best promo work of his career, and I think he's done an awful lot for that TNT title. So it's one of those cases where, while I don't argue or dispute anything that Ibu just said, I just think that Christian Cage, his promos, when I think promos in 2023 wrestling, I go to Christian Cage, who has been funny at times, has been downright pathetic at other times. I mean, he's just been a great heel on the microphone. He has made himself one of the more talked about guys in the whole promotion, as he often credits himself for. I think fairly so, right? Like, weirdly, Christian Cage became a guy who was able to get like all these memes going and shit about the topic you would least expect, hilariously. Christian's been incredible. This feels like he's a award for me personally. I got Christian Cage.
He's been awesome. Ayo, where are you thinking? What are you thinking?
So, if you asked me like 3-4 weeks ago who the promo of the year was, it would have easily been the instant classic Christian Cage. But this promo work Mox is doing during the C2, bro, like it's like a cheat code, bro. Like I don't think it's fair. Like I tweeted it yesterday, my high ass, bro. I meant to say selling a fight. Like nobody in the world is as good at selling a fight as John Moxley, but I accidentally tweeted seeking. But like when he makes everything sound like life or death, bro. Like going into Mox versus Orange Cassidy 2, bro. I could not possibly give a single fuck about that rematch, bro. But John Moxley made me care through promo work alone, and like he's making me care about the C2 with all of his promos and stuff. He just got me when he picks up that mic, bro. This something about him and Eddie Kingston. Like I don't know if they know that like this shit's not real, bro. But they just got me. But I won't be mad if Christian wins. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves the award as well. This is the best promo work of his career. MJF doesn't have there's no valid reason to vote for MJF for this award. I think that would be a legacy award. He's put up some fucking stinkers this year, bro. It's gotten tough for him. But yeah, I'm going with Mox. Won't be mad if Christian wins. Keep it away from MJF. I haven't watched a single LA Knight promo. But I'm happy that he's been able to get over. Good, congratulations.
Ayo, I was gonna say, I think Mox is one of the biggest beneficiaries to AEW. Trying to do professional wrestling again after that weird stretch in October where they just decided we don't want to do that anymore, because the approach that they were trending towards in October is not an approach that makes any sense to Jon Moxley. And now that it's back, just you have singles matches that really matter, because if you don't win them, it'll affect your standing. That's his wheelhouse. John, you have to now fight this guy in this next row. Talk about it. Boom. He gets that. So like the Continental Classic is perfect. Just the way you mentioned it with him doing, like, he's going crazy with these promos. It's just because like this type of direction and tone is perfect for him. You know what I mean? This like pro wrestling oriented, sports based presentation. It's his wheelhouse.
Completely agree.
Well, I was gonna go with either Mox or Christian this year, but thinking about it and thinking it over, I'm gonna have to go with LA Knight, and the reason why is because after the lights out match, and God rest his soul, but like after the lights out match and everything that was going on with the Brave feud, everybody pretty much thought it was dead in the water for LA Knight. It was kind of a thought process of how could he basically get himself, like, bring himself back to people even like caring about him.
How was the reaction when he got back to TV? Like before you even said a word?
Or like, what do you mean on like what do you mean?
Like what? Because because I saw people on Twitter. They were like, "Oh yeah, God rest his soul, Bray Wyatt." But people after that match were like, "This is the end of LA Knight's career."
Oh yeah,
but so like when he got back to TV, like how did people treat him before he cut a promo?
They were like, I don't think he got a reaction. I don't think he really got a reaction. And then he did a match against the models where they talk about it on the stream, where he was supposed to cut a babyface promo afterwards, but then he cuts his heel promo afterwards, and then through his heel work and through the way he was talking on the mic and just the way he was progressively getting himself over, I think that's what helped people get into him, especially the huge reactions with the chance he was getting at Money in the Bank. I think if he couldn't cut a promo after that Bray Wyatt match, it would have been over for him. He would probably be in the crossroad where you don't really see him, and he just gets squashed every 2 to 3 months. But it's just like him being so good at what he does on the microphone, being able to resurrect himself from what was an all-time bad feud and an all-time bad match is what basically it basically sways my vote to him for promo of the year. Just the way he's gotten himself over.
I think it's a good point to make, Rob, because he is one of the big stories of the year, right? I mean, he just is. He's transformed his career and his life, really. I mean, it's incredible what he's done this year. And you mentioned the Bray feud. The promo he cut on the SmackDown after Bray's passing was probably, I mean, that was quite remarkable, really. The way that he stood there and kind of that's a moment that's very, very tough, right? And like there he was, the guy 1 month into his main event run, handling it with such poise and class. So I think it's a great point. We all mentioned the substance part, and I think there's reasons to not vote LA Knight, but I think it's good that we kind of circle in that way because, my God, what a story he's been. It's been incredible. I'm with FC.
Most people in his position in that Roman promo, as Monty mentioned, I think it was Monty that mentioned it.
Yeah.
Most people in his position would have probably shit the bed or like shit themselves in that position, right. And he handled it like he's been doing main event promos on Fed television for 20 years.
I mentioned it months ago regarding the LA Knight story, and it applies to life. And I think it's the most encouraging thing about him is in life in general. Sometimes you got to just walk in and act like you've been there. Because if you act like you've been there and you act like, like what's surrounding you is not something that you're undeserving of, people will respect you. You walk in and you don't act like the moment's too fucking big for you and you're not starry-eyed about shit and you don't, you know what I mean? Like, you do that in life and you will go places. And LA Knight walked in here, and even when he was literally a nobody and he was a jag, he acted like he was a big shot and he belonged. And eventually people caught on to that because confidence is an attractive thing. So good for him. Good for him. It's a lesson in life, to be honest with you.
Charlie, I'm interested on where you're going to go on this one.
Literally up until like last week, I had Christian Cage as my answer because he's just done so much incredible stuff this like past year. But these Continental Classic promos from Mox, they've just hit different. I don't know what it is about them, but they've really just stood out to me. And I honestly think it's some of his best promo work, like on a week-to-week basis this year, other than like the post Revolution one and the one where he told Eddie to pick up his phone. Those are the other two that like stand out to me as like some of his best work this year. But like these Continental Classic promos have just put him a level above like other people in this category, I think. So Moxie's my pick.
That's best on promos 2023. Couple super chats. Got a couple. Keep them coming, people. Keep them coming. As I said, get your takes in. Bruh, 4.99. Appreciate you as always. What's Punk gonna do when Kevin Owens pops his eardrum like he did Roman's?
He's gonna get fired.
I just remember last year KO. I just remembered last year KO did that to Roman, and Roman gave him a receipt on a match on SmackDown. He punched him in the face.
Oh my God, yo, his eye.
He rocked KO's jaw.
Yo,
I
no.
remember
Did you
this.
see? No, did you see his eye after the scene? It was KO and Cena versus Roman and Sammy.
That
And,
was his Roman punched him in the face.
Yo, his eye afterwards is crazy.
Because in War Games, Kevin Owens pops Roman's eardrum. Roman's really mad about this backstage. Legit story. He's like really heated about this, and then he calmed down, and then they did a SmackDown Tag Joe in December with Cena and Kevin Owens against Sammy and Roman, and Roman got in that ring and did what he had to do.
Yo, he at the Rumble. He said, "No."
Y'all think Steen saw that receipt coming, or you think? Wait, what was the length between the matches?
The matches were
like a month.
They're like a month apart.
Oh, I saw that coming.
Kevin probably had like 20 matches in that month while Roman was just chilling, waiting.
Yeah, right. He said, "Hey, I got some for that fat ass." Like I got some.
Sitting in his fucking tribal throne with his fingers folded together, bro. Just plotting.
I sent it to the WrestlePurists channel. I'm gonna get it.
The nastiest part about it is it would not, and this is all conjecture. I'm not saying this will happen, but it would not surprise me if at the night of Survivor Series, Roman's like looking at Hunter like, "What the fuck? You're gonna let him do this to me? And Triple H is like, "Hey, hold on, just give him a receipt." Just taps him on his chest with it. Just give him a receipt. Just walking, and that's it. That's the end of the story. There.
I'm looking at this picture. His eye is crazy.
He really punched this nigga in the face.
This nigga's left eyelid is hanging over the bottom one. This is crazy.
But no, Roman was really mad because apparently, like, his ear was ringing for like the rest of the night and like for days after and shit. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. He knew. He knew it was coming.
Yeah, love KO, but he walked into that one.
All right. Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate it as always. £5. Obafemi and Jada Parker will be on the WrestlePurists Rookie of the Year list in 2024. I'm not sure if Obafemi will still be.
No, we got to make him eligible, bro.
Just cheap, bro.
No. Bro, he's
you know what we need to do. You know what we need to do, Monty. We need to make like a match cutoff. Like if you've had this many matches, then you are like NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision.
That's
like,
unfair. That's unfair on
True Skull. That's like.
That's unfair on the Puro. That's unfair on the Japanese wrestlers, I think.
But I think we can make a rule for them. It's like after their excursions. No, it's hard then because then Oiwa wouldn't. I don't know, man.
I'll just look the way we do it, man. Like, if you're still in your first full year,
then Oba's wrestled one match. He's had one match.
Yeah, Oba's had like one match. To say he's disqualified, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
He didn't just have one.
Not
match,
the future of Nigerian wrestling.
He had a few level up matches as well, man.
Ayo, don't worry. Ayo, don't worry because this is what's gonna happen. Oba's
gonna look crazy. Oba's gonna be like, "Can I really leave my boy off the list?"
Oba feminism is gonna take over the world.
Oba
feminism is gonna take over the world in 2024. And
bro, I'm stupidly locked in for everything Oba Femi does, bro. I can't care.
Ayo, Monty blew my mind when he said this nigga is 22. I was like, "That's a
what?
He's 22."
Nah, bro. It's over. It's so
I watched
over,
that nigga's promo and he was just like, Obafemi will take over NXT. And I'm like, this dude's like 30 or something.
That pop-up powerbomb, bro. Oh my God.
That nigga's lying, bro.
He's
he one of them high school niggas that lie.
How old are you, kid?
I'll be hoping he shows up on the Most Improved list,
My nigga in the 5th grade for the 12th time. This is
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. That nigga is 33, and he told fucking Matt Bloom.
That nigga had it. What was that movie? That baseball movie where the grown man had the piece of paper saying what was sitting is like I am 12. I told him to hit the piece.
Nah, y'all remember on Tough Enough when that nigga Boogeyman lied and said that nigga was 30 years old. They found out that nigga was
I was
40.
like, nigga, you lying.
How old are you? 30.
Ricky Starks hit his age for a while too. Like he used to tell niggas.
Yeah, Ricky used to tell people he was like 26, bro.
We
Yeah,
know
like,
you
you're
we know you
32.
37, bro. We know you 37. You don't gotta lie, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, May 21st, 2001.
I don't believe him. He's lying. Bro.
There's an extra.
It's
There's
crazy,
a,
bro. It's crazy.
added 10 years onto that.
That's according to the internet. Ever reliable.
I refuse to believe that man's younger than me.
Jan Theodore, $2 Canadian. Appreciate. How much of Daniel Garcia's non-push is because the contract year?
None of it.
I was gonna say
I'll tell you, it's literally just Tony Khan thinking that these young guys will be around here forever and we'll do something with them when we feel like it.
It's not part. Like I said, it's actually a shame that he got made that list. You know, he should be on some of these other lists. You know. Okay, so now it's an interesting one.
Oh, no.
Booker of the Year 2023 nominees are Paul Levesque, Shawn Michaels, Tony Khan, Panico, and Shuji Ishikawa, who I'm going to put an asterisk next to because that is from our quick searches and asking of friends who are more knowledgeable on this. That is who that's who we have told books All Japan. Although we are working to further confirm this to be 100% sure.
There were Japanese people in the quotes of our tweet saying, "That's who books All Japan."
Yeah, that was so cool.
that was so like even they aren't sure over there.
We got legit tweets and kanji from people in Japan on WrestlePurists. I was popping crazy.
They weren't even disagreeing. They were just like, "Oh."
They're like, Ishikawa-san is the Booker of All Japan? Wow.
So yeah, we got Ishikawa of All Japan, Panico of CMLL, Tony Khan of AEW, Shawn Michaels NXT, Paul Levesque, of course, Triple H, WWE. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Paul Levesque, Triple H. I think his booking has been pretty productive for a numerous amount of stars, and the company just feels really hot. The fans just seem really, really happy with the product. Ticket sales have been great this year, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, man, I think this is actually an interesting conversation because I think all of them deserve some kind of conversation in this award, you know. But Paul Levesque for me is my pretty clear winner, to be honest. But that's not putting down the rest of the nominees. More so that I just think WWE have had such a successful year main roster wise. So that's me. Charlie, where do you find yourself on this one?
I genuinely have no idea. Because I don't
Did y'all see Charlie
WWE.
hide from the camera? She like leaned away like,
I don't watch WWE on a consistent basis, so all I have to go off of is like 8 of the pay-per-views from this year. Mm-hmm. And they're like hit and miss. So I think when I was doing my little ballot on Twitter, I think I put Tony just because that's the company that I watch the most. So that's the company I know most about.
So what have you enjoyed? So like the most common justification I've seen of Tony Khan being Booker of the Year has been the quality of pay-per-views, which is something you mentioned earlier. So I think that is a fair reason to give someone Booker of the Year, you know. So even if it is just off pay-per-view quality, I don't think that's like a cop-out or a terrible reason, you know, to vote for Booker of the Year because the TV is the build to the pay-per-views, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So TV, though, has been, you know.
I have been the first to say that it's been hit or miss, but I feel like every pay-per-view except Double or Nothing has been at least pretty good. So yeah, mine's Tony, just for that really, because if I compare what I know of AEW to what I know of WWE and the other companies, honestly, the pay-per-views are all I really have to go off. So, and I think that AEW's had a stronger pay-per-view year. So yeah.
Do we have any Shawn Michaels voters? I'm of course looking at you, Rob. I know you're on mute right now. I don't know if you've disappeared. But I'm
Rob,
interested.
you disappointed the Orlandoites
What's up?
last week, so are you?
Rob, are you going to be voting for Shawn Michaels?
You know, I would vote for Shawn. I would vote for Shawn Michaels, but November TV hasn't really been hitting for me. But my vote is clearly Paul Levesque, clearly Triple H. I would have voted for Tony Khan because the pay-per-views were good, but the TV, there were some weeks of TV where I was just like, yeah, I can't do this anymore, and I turned it off. Or I was just like, yeah, I was literally depressed. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Paul. Paul has had Raws where I was just like, yo, we might be back for Monday Night Raw. And it's very, very unfortunate. I love Sean, love what Sean has done with NXT, but I'm gonna go with Paul.
The only unique thought I care to contribute to this conversation is that when I look at booking, like in a macro level, the way I personally assess it is just like, what have you achieved creatively this year, coming out of the year versus coming in? And I'm actually kind of like AEW's pay-per-views to me have been like still excellent, especially in vacuum viewing. But I'm kind of frustrated with like how little was accomplished this year versus like who they have on their roster. And I think that there's very little I don't know the word is turnover rate, but like the main event scene isn't wider than it was coming in a way where like that suggests like stagnation from that standpoint. Does that make sense? I feel like they kind of stagnated in terms of making main event stars. I think they're aware of this and they'll try to catch back up in 2024. But Swerve is like the only big like home run when it comes to that. And I think when you look at Paul Levesque from that standpoint specifically, I can name you numerous talents that coming out of this year are in far better standing than they were coming in the year. And I look at somebody like an LA Knight or a Santos Escobar or a Dominic.
I will say, even though everybody up here has had their issues with, his content, if you remember how spiteful, weirdly spiteful AEW fans got about Adam Cole in 2022 before his injury, and now how much they love him now, I think that is a success for the company. Even though I don't think any of us really love what's going on with Baby right now, or even before he went down. But that's a win for AEW, bro. That turnaround.
He's in a net positive position for sure. Like if I had to like break it down like person by person, yes, he would be a net positive. But I don't think he's like a net positive in like a difference making. I mean, it's debatable. But
I mean, bro, he went from his friends needed to get on Twitter and Instagram and being like, "Yo, get off his dick." To main event in Wembley, bro. So like,
I thought the Brochachos angle was super successful and very productive, at least up until that point. But still, to my broader point though, what I was trying to say is like I look up and down this roster and like again, Jey Uso's in better standing, Sami Zayn is in better standing than he was coming in the beginning of the year. Like I said, LA Knight or like a Santos or Damian Priest, even like it's like who the what the fuck. Dragon Lee, Damian Priest having a fucking substantial role in 2023. It just Chad Gable is another one. It just top to bottom. There's smaller successes and there's larger successes up and down the roster, and like I think that they've done a pretty good job, broadly speaking, on that when it comes to like figuring out like how to give people better directions and taking it month by month and like moving them all up the standings, so to speak, from that standpoint. Io Sky is another one. So this is the only thing I wanted to say on this topic.
Trust me, I would have loved, to do Tony, but I can't reward that.
Tony Khan, he still has delivered with his pay-per-views, but he hasn't made it as easy to vote for him as previous years with his TV output this year, has he?
The TV's not been great. If you watch our AEW Dynamite reviews, you'll see that we get really spiteful about those. And if you watched our mid-season awards, you'd see that
Oh,
Everybody on the panel didn't give it. Nobody. He didn't get. Tony Khan didn't get a single vote not from me, not from Chuck, not from Joe, not from Ibu. Was Rob there? I don't think I was there. We all voted for Gato.
Thank you for bringing up that video because you're reminding me of some smoke I got for somebody. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, but we all voted for Gato, and I don't feel strongly about that at all. Like I don't think Tony Khan deserves to win the award, but if I had to vote for anyone, I guess it would be him. That run of pay-per-views that he had from Forbidden Door to Full Gear, it's not something that we see every year, bro. It's probably something that we've never seen before. That quality of run. So I'm gonna give it a TK. I don't really care if you give it a Hunter or not. I don't really care whoever wins. Good for them. But yeah, I'm just go with TK for this one.
I just want to make mention of like how good Gato completely fell out of the playoffs here.
It's disgusting, bro.
It's
bro.
Botch
the G1, botch the World Tag League, botch Naito's run to Wrestle Kingdom, botch the Destruction shit. Like what? I'm not saying that he's burying what the Musketeers, but what they're doing is only compelling through their own work and not because of the booking.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, but his booking has fallen off a cliff.
I'm not even talking about Tama because I like Tama, but like I don't understand his obsession with just pushing Tangaloa and Hikuleo. I don't know what output they have had that it just made him go, yeah, these should be the guys that we push.
The World Tag League final was ELP and Hikuleo versus Bishamon, wasn't it?
In a
40 minutes.
ELP. Yeah, that time was
Come on,
crazy.
bro.
I haven't watched it yet, but 40 minutes is insane.
Bishamon are the IWGP Tag Team Champions, and they won World Tag League.
They sure did.
Bro.
And then they chose guys they fought in the final for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, so the match we just saw
is 90% rematches, and the one match that isn't a rematch is the triple threat.
Bro, that's not
even the most shambolic Hikuleo booked match of this year. Jay White's last match in Japan was a 30-minute main event with Hikuleo.
Jesus Christ. That match, I left that match wondering if I still liked Jay White, bro. Like, am I still a fan of this man? But
talking about the Hikuleo match.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I wasn't sure if I still liked Jay White, bro.
It was me, Ibu, and Ayo and a couple other niggas. They remember I fell asleep during that match and woke up and that match was still on.
And that nigga Rob screamed, "That's still going!" Jesus Christ. But literally going into the World Tag League final, Actions Protect was predicting like, oh, Bushman's obviously gonna win, and maybe they'll bring Ozzy Open back in, or maybe they'll bring these people in, or maybe they'll face other people. And I was like, Ash, bro. The way Gail's been booking, don't be surprised if Hikuleo and ELP win this thing,
Yo,
like, bro, they might be on the card. And that's not what happened. They still won the active on the Wrestle Kingdom card.
Yo, Ayo could speak to this. Every morning now has become a daily exercise of me waking up to a New Japan result, walking up to Ash, really sad, tail between my legs. What's going on with this, bro? Does that mean this is happening? And he'll be like, nah. I'm like, fuck. Okay.
It's tough. It's been tough. But like we've mentioned, it kind of fell off a cliff halfway through the year. Joe Hulbert, how are you justifying your pick in this category, mate?
Honestly, I do think it's really important we credit All Japan and CMLL. Like, I think their story has been really cool this year, and both have achieved an awful lot. I'm going to be totally transparent in saying that I would feel like a phony for voting for either because I watched them in very small bursts, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's pretty simple with Triple H. I think what he has achieved with maximizing pieces of his talent roster that were previously of very little use or like entirely forgotten. I think when you look at, look, he's method at times, don't get me wrong, his TV can be pretty dry. It's not always my favorite by any means, and it's saying that, you know, I have my issues with, but generally speaking, he is great in terms of big picture and broad strokes, right? And he knows where he wants to get to. And if you do that and you tick that box consistently, more times than not, it will pay off. So I think it's clearly him among the bookers that I'm like truly familiar with because of just what he's achieved with talent. I mean, commercially speaks for itself, right? They've had a great year commercially. They've sold out houses, but like looking at it just critically, man, they've done a lot for. I mean, look at the top baby faces. I love the Usos. Look at where Jey Uso is at right now as a singles. Like that's a lot for where he's at as a talent. LA Knight we've mentioned. So I think he's maximized his roster far better than the obvious comparison being Tony Khan. So for me, it's Triple H.
I'm glad you brought up CMLL because like I'm the CMLL guy, and I feel like a piece of shit. I didn't even shout them out, Panico, but they've had a resurgent year this year. They've had an absolute.
Some CMLL go, you are.
Yeah, right. I feel like a piece of shit.
You're the only person who calls yourself CMLL go, by the way.
Yeah, but like nobody's ever like, oh yeah, Evil. Just that CMLL guy. Like, I'm not
Lucha blogger Rob Viper by any means, but I do watch the Super Viernes shows. They're great. They're just so steady and comforting. Mystico's a great ace. Genuinely, he's a great ace. They sell out these Arena Mexico shows. The tourists love them. They get over live, and they've made so many new main event stars this year. Templario's kind of continued his already existing ascent. Atlantis Jr. is just a steady, good top guy to have on deck. They turned Soberano Jr. heel after his best year that he's had so far this year. They turned him heel recently. Oh my God, the fucking Volador Jr. Rocky Romero feud was killer. Rocky Romero himself coming into Mexico and being the heel. It's in a weird and funny way. It was what their young baby faces needed because there's a lot of guys who like were still figuring it out and just still figuring out how to work like young aces in their own right. And Rocky just being that steadying force to kind of help every single one of them has been so effective. It helped Soberano Jr. It helped Templario. It obviously, I mean, like Voldemort's a veteran, but it kind of helped give him some new life because he's been kind of like he hasn't been a guy who's gotten buzz in years, and Volador Jr. was a guy who like bursted on the scene fucking 15, 20 years ago. Mascara Dorada 2.0, who's now just a real Mascara Dorada, he has become like out of nowhere like a fucking sensation. I've named so many guys, so yeah, CMLL had a great year. I just wanted to shout them out.
Yeah, man, deservedly so. Quick super chats. Jordan Spurs, $10, appreciate it as always. What main stories in AEW actually had endings this year? Everything just either gets dragged due to injuries or just slowly fades into the background. Can't be Tony Khan. He also says with $2, Will Washington should have been an option. Well, he's not a booker, so that's like saying like Regal should be an option. He's part of the creative team, but he's not the booker. Tony Khan, even if he pitches stuff, Tony Khan still has to okay and book it. So TK is the booker, brother. Will Washington don't qualify. Darren Walker, £5, appreciate you as always. Billy Corgan gave us the angle of the year in the NWA with the James Mitchell and cocaine spot. Interesting. Will Chisholm, $5, appreciate you. As a fan of AEW and WWE, is it fair to say that AEW has had a bipolar year? I've never seen fans going in on Tony Khan like they did this year.
Absolutely.
Face a lot of criticism, mate, because the TV has been pretty fairly criticised this year, so it's just been a tough year perception-wise for AEW, man. It just has. And it just has even just from a content quality point of view, except for the pay-per-views, which I'm sure you're referring to with the bipolar part of your super chat. So, Dunmaz, $3, appreciate you. Gaido had Hikuleo beat Kaito in the G1.
Sure did.
There was a lot. He had a lot of people beat Kaito in the G1. Will Chisholm, $5, appreciate you. What's going on in Japan this year between New Japan and Stardom? It felt like overnight people started hating the booking. Don't think it was overnight, bro. Do not think it was overnight.
It got bad.
It got bad.
Stardom, really, but New Japan fell off a
When we
cliff.
did the mid-year one,
all Stardom stars had no injury, and starting with the G1, New Japan's booking got really, really bad. And
do you remember,
really,
like,
really bad?
We circled the G1 in the mid-year show.
Yeah, it was like, oh,
this
yeah,
could be an issue.
Yeah.
I think we literally said like the race between Tony and Gatos depending on how the G1 goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What could have been?
Fun times, huh? All right, we're on to Tag Team of the Year now. Tag Team of the Year 2023. We have the Astronauts from Big Japan. They're from Big Japan.
Big
Yeah,
pro wrestling.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, Aussie Open, the Usos, and FTR. Charlie, you are the tag team purist here.
Yeah.
Where are you thinking for this one?
I think it's the Astronauts. I have been very quietly studying their work this year, and they're just kind of fucking incredible. And more people are discovering them, which I'm both happy about, but also upset about, because this is my little quiet area of wrestling that I don't have to talk about because no one talks about it, which is like unfortunate. But I've also enjoyed just having this little bubble. But yeah, they've been incredible this year. Nomura and Abe, they're just a really great team. I'm honestly kind of shocked the Aussie Open still got on the list, because I love them, and their first half of 2023 was like really great, but they haven't really done anything of note since June. Like, they had the Ring of Honor World titles and then lost them in the pre-show. Like,
Man, they made it to the Wembley card, I guess. It wasn't exactly.
They made it to Wembley, which is.
It was far from a showcase of Aussie Open, but you know, it's like you said though, Charlie, they had a really strong first half. So
yes. Who were the other ones? Steen Erico, they were on it, right?
Yes.
I think obviously they had a really strong Mania season. I love that main event. It's one of my favorite WrestleMania matches ever. I'm very biased. But I don't know. I just feel like they haven't done enough throughout the year to substantiate getting this award. FTR, they're FTR. They've had a good year, but nowhere near as good of their year was last year. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it's the Astronauts, and more people should check them out.
Yeah, man.
That is my long-winded way of saying that.
Hopefully they do. Because for a tag team from Big Japan to make this list is quite
really
staggering.
impressive.
There's Stardom wrestlers and New Japan wrestlers and stuff like that. Like, that's obviously impressive in itself, but Big Japan, bro. You know,
Yeah.
it's you know how good you have to be to, you know. So shout out the Astronauts.
There's like 6 of us that tweet about them. It's very funny.
BJW footage is extremely difficult to procure. Nobody subscribes to BJW Core, which is their subscription service.
I got all of it.
And all right, Rob. And that's the thing.
He's just old, bro. He's not resourceful.
I heard about Abe Nomura like 3 years ago because people were raving to me about their tags with Yuji Okabayashi and Daisuke Sekimoto. And it's one of those tag rivalries where like they wrestle like maybe 4 times a year, and every time they wrestle, it's like a 4.5-star match or above. And so like you guys are right, like they're just that good. They're that great, frankly, that like out of this one little small corner, like they're making noise. They do freelance work in other promotions, but like they're mainly frequent in BJW, and they're pretty great. I would vote for them if I had a bigger sample size, but I'd be fraudulent in voting for them because I've only seen 4 astronaut matches this year. So that's kind of like my thing on that.
Get watching.
Yeah, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, of course, the huge high of the main event of WrestleMania, which of course I think should hold a lot of weight, to be honest. But also I just think their weekly tag defenses on Raw were really, really solid to very, very good. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, very, very strong contenders in this. Aussie Open, strong first half of the year, but of course injuries and just kind of not being heavily featured booking wise hurt them quite a lot in the second half. The Usos, of course, they split up at SummerSlam, but you know, they were the other half of the main event of WrestleMania, and that was the end of their 700-day title reign. And very much like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they had a lot of weekly TV defenses that were very strong, because I think booking wise in WWE, I think when they caught on and were really starting to put together that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were going to main event against the Usos, they made a point of adding as much prestige as they could to the Usos title reign by letting them just wrestle and just be really dominant and stuff like that. And I thought they were really great. Obviously, up until SummerSlam, they beat Jey Uso, pinned Roman Reigns, the first person to do so in, I don't know, what is it, 3-4 years or whatever it is. That was a huge moment at Money in the Bank. So that's their case, but of course it falls off after the split up. FTR have just had a very solid year with some highs, but nowhere near, as Charlie mentioned, nowhere near as many highs as 2022. But it still had some very good highs, like the Bullet Club Gold matches, of course. I'm probably the high person on the Bucks match at Wembley. But it's still a very good year for FTR. Joe Hulbert, what are you thinking, mate?
I mentioned earlier with the Nigel pick that there were 2 awards on this where I was just going to take off the analytical hat and just pick what I feel is right for the whole brand. I don't think any of these are home runs, so I'm going with the FTR. And I'll make my case based on kind of, you just mentioned it, okay? I think the best tag team match of the year for me is the second Bullet Club Gold match. I love the first match also. I think the fact they made me enjoy it better than you, Bebe, for 20 minutes was incredible. They should have an award for that alone. Oh, that was a tremendous match. I think the match has actually become super underrated. I love the insane Rampage main event they just had with Vikingo and Commander, which I think also flew under the radar. I mean, I don't know where we stand on, I think they had some great performances in those trios matches. Even like the match in the match there with Big Bill and Brian Cage, I really enjoyed. So, I'm not going to say they had a great year because I'm not sure they did. Honestly, the creative's been super uneven. It took them a while to get going. But ultimately, they had my favorite tag match of the year. They've been very, very steady. They've consistently been a highlight of Collision for me personally. So while it's not a hill I'm going to die on like an objective matter, I'm still taking the FTR. Every other team that I've watched consistently has like a chink in their armor to me, like whether it being splitting up early or whatever it may be. So I'm just going to go with tried and true, brother. Give me the FTR.
FTR are my favorite team, but I actually do think Sammy and KO are a home run pick this year, to be honest, because of to me they became the main characters of their show, and I think they're the primary reason that literally for the first time ever there was a stretch this year on and off, and it's still kind of on and off, but for a stretch this year they made the 3 hours of Raw as a 3-hour program stabilized because they'd be able to kind of have these hot openings and hot closings. You have the hot opening segment where they cut their promos because they're both great talkers, and then they could just have a tag match for 20 minutes. I think between the Mania storyline that they had with the Usos, and I'm the high. Those Judgment Day tags are great. I think that they're really fucking just strong. I started actively looking forward to Monday having just a Steen Erico main event on some of these TVs in the late summertime. They had a match against Gunther and Kaiser that's criminally underrated. It's pretty fucking tremendous. I think between being the fact that the main characters of WWE's flagship show were a tag team, and that's very same tag team main event at Mania, and then not to take away from no one talks about it now, their Saudi main event against Roman and Solo is quite good.
Very good match, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. And then like I said, the Imperium tags and then the Judgment Day tags, and then their very last tag before they split up was against Cody and Jay, was really good. I just think from the standpoint of match quality, what they achieved, the stage they achieved, what they achieved, and again, how over and hot they were as acts. I think this is probably the pick out of any award actually that I feel the strongest on. Is Kevin Owens.
I think the key is how much you love the Judgment Day series.
Yeah.
Right? And because that's the game changer for you.
Yes,
I like quite a few of those matches. I love the street fight.
Yeah.
But every week you were looking forward to those matches. So for you, I think it's absolutely, it's the pick that most reflects your enjoyment of the year for sure. For me, it's I'm a little bit lower on it. I can't argue with the pick. Stenerico, come on, bro. It speaks for itself, right? So I'm with it for sure.
Absolutely.
I would agree. I'm just gonna agree and say Kevin and Sammy too. I think they've been doing really good from the time that they not first tagged obviously, but first tagged this year at Mania. The literal night after Mania, night 2, they had a good tag team match with the Street Profits on Monday Night Raw. And from that Street Profits match on, just the entire summer, they were just going and going and going with tag team match after tag team match. Obviously, as you mentioned, the Night of Champions match with Roman and Solo. Also, the match where KO got fined for blading at Payback and that awesome street fight. It was just it's also they just redefined or basically regenerated tag team wrestling on Monday Night Raw during the summer, and for me, that's why they're my pick for tag team of the year. I would have, unfortunately, sadly, heartbreakingly, would have went FTR if their first half of 2024, not 2024, 2023 was good, but their first half of 2023 was not good.
The Jarrett feud and stuff.
They missed a lot of time when they had the Guns match, the Jarrett match.
Yo, that Guns match, yo, holy shit!
Very fair, very very fair. Ayo, what are you thinking this year, Ayo? What are you thinking?
When you look at this objectively, and you just think of matches that have occurred, big matches, the quality that's been put down on paper, what they've done to the industry. I think the only answer that you could go with here is the Golden Jets, brother. Like I got Scenerico. Shout out PWG. There's not really much to be said. More,
they did rep PWG at Mania, so
that was awesome.
Y'all have spoken about them ad nauseum. I think they're clearly the winners this year. FTR, not only was their creative bad to start the year, their matches were fucking terrible. I don't know if like Dax was just falling apart or whatever the fuck he had going on. Aussie Open's beginning of 2024 was awesome. Mark Davis keeps getting injured. And even when he was back for that brief stint during the summer, they didn't really have much going on. They had some like good TV matches, but whatever. Yeah, man, I'm going with Scenerico. They like Rob said, they've gotten they like the Usos are big stars. We get it. Everybody in WWE, all the WWE fans love them. Treat them like big stars, whatever. But they weren't like wrestling weekly or whatever. Like Scenerico like made tag team wrestling serious again in WWE. So, which something that you never thought would happen. So shout out to them.
The one thing I would say for the Usos, their road to Mania, I do think, has been slightly forgotten. Where they had a couple.
That's why I'm at
really
a point
strong
of bringing
teams.
it up, man. Because
I think because when you get to the end of the year, you do forget. Like, Sammy and Kevin didn't wrestle. How much did they tag before they won the belts?
They didn't.
Right. It's like, you know, they were
had
some really nice TV. They had some title events on TV that were really good. So
yo, that Usos versus Brawling Brutes tag was way better than it should have been.
Right. They had the one with Braun and Ricochet too, which was really fun. They had some good ones.
That's the Bang Bros.
Hold on. WWE have officially announced that Carmelo Hayes is the NXT entry into the U.S. tournament.
What?
So who is he wrestling in the first round?
Grayson Waller, so he's gonna win. Wow, Melo got called up.
Carmelo versus Grayson Waller. I'll be there.
You're a piece of shit.
What, bro?
All is good.
That feels like a mercy call up, bro. That feels like they saw the Beat BJ thing and
save him. Get away from these people.
Retire bait.
Oh man, they got Melo got the call up.
Tyler Bate looked really good last night, Charlie.
He did. I watched the match. He looked great in it.
Did you get taller?
No, that was we're 2 hours in. You know,
he did wash his hair. And yeah.
Free my boy.
Anyway.
This is
shout out Melo. It's about time. Very overdue. But anyway, promotion of the year 2023. WWE, CMLL, All Japan, AEW, New Japan. I'm gonna go with WWE for basically the same reasons why I picked Triple H for Booker of the Year. To be honest, copy and paste.
Basically the same conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, New Japan makes this list though. They didn't make the Booker list, of course. As we mentioned, Gato kind of fell off a cliff. Obviously, NXT isn't eligible because that falls under WWE, doesn't it? I think, yeah, of course it does. It's more awards. Why am I I'm asking. NXT obviously falls under WWE, so yeah, that leaves room for New Japan. I want to say because this popped up last year. We don't really do honourable mentions, but I just want to say that the support that Deadlock Pro get every year, and it's increasing from last year, is actually really impressive, I think. They nearly made this list, like Deadlock Pro nearly made this list, which I think is like a resounding achievement, So shout out to them as well. The people that are watching it absolutely love what they're doing over there. They've got a really good fan base that they've cultivated off YouTube and obviously now doing the wrestling promotion the past couple of years. So shout out to the Deadlock boys. Yeah, I'm going with WWE. What's everyone else thinking? Anyone got any strong opinions on this one?
All I'll say is, go on, Eric.
I think objectively you have to go with WWE. When you look at how one I think it's between WWE and AEW. When you look at how one fan base is servicing their fan, and when one promotion is servicing their fan base and another promotion is servicing their fan base, it's not really a competition this year. Yeah, man, they've killed it. They're white hot. A ton of tickets. Their fans are loving what's going on over there. Shout out to Hunter, bro. He did it.
The worldwide leader in sports and entertainment, brother. You know what time it is.
You're on time. You're on time.
Real 1 minute soundbite in the history of wrestling. WrestlePurists God.
I legitimately did not think he was going to say WWE.
I wish
all my opinions are correct and objective. So
we covered a lot of this topic, as Monty mentioned, was covered in the book review. What I would say is, in addition, WWE had to get my vote for this because of how much money they got out of me for Bloodline Civil War. Which,
yes, they did.
If a promoter does that to me, they had a good year. That was a hilarious experience and one that I'll always remember. But yeah, they had the vote as soon as that happened because that was incredible, hysterical.
Yeah, I watched what y'all were that video y'all were talking about. It was like a 5-minute clip of them singing the Usos theme after they won a Money in the Bank. That's like one of the greatest clips I've ever watched.
It's the coolest thing. Mon and I both said it's the coolest wrestling thing I've experienced, like in terms of atmosphere. It was. And again, it's one of those matches. It's not a kind of match of the year conversation. I'm aware of that, but as an atmosphere, that was insane. So yeah,
it's 5 minutes of like 50,000 people just singing down since day one.
Joe, were you among the thousands of people bringing their hands up and down for the Usos theme when they?
I don't make noise or move at wrestling shows. As you know.
Yeah, you see the famous screenshot of me and Joe looking very.
That also was classic, yeah. So
what
I had to
get
that shit in on that. It was when Cena came out, bro.
That's fantastic.
Cena came out and they cut to the people, and it was just us standing there.
Joe has this indifferent face, like
in my We the Ones. What a great day. Anyway, I got WWE.
I said 50,000. There was only 18,000 people.
It sounded like 50, bro. I wasn't going to stop you. You were rolling.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, we'll take it. Big support in the UK for the Usos, Has anyone else got anything they want to throw into the conversation here?
No.
We good?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's get to the real fun one.
Match of the year. Match of the year. Match of the year 2023. This was the only nominee list that got us some heat on Twitter.com for the reasons AO said at the start of the show, where it was just kind of like people asking why there wasn't a WWE match on this list, and it was simply because not enough of you suggested it. But anyway, first match, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 17 in January. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page from a few weeks ago at Full Gear. MJF versus Bryan Danielson, Iron Man match at AEW Revolution from earlier in the year. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., the Technical Wrestling Masterclass from AEW Wrestle Dream. And Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 2 from AEW New Japan Forbidden Door 2.
Was there three of those?
I'll be honest with the audience. So WrestlePurists isn't biased, and I'm not just picking my favourites. My match of the year isn't on this list.
Oh yeah, me too. So yeah.
So But that isn't because I don't think any of these matches don't deserve to be on this list either. You know, it's just
What have you got? The Alexa Bianca match?
you got me. I think my favourite match this year is Steen Erica versus the Usos, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it is. Or Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 1. So that's what I will be voting for. So that's where Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 1. I think it's actually quite substantially better than the second match, to be honest. I think Kenny Omega's performance as a heel in that was like just fucking tremendous. You know, he put like
Yeah.
I could talk about that match for quite a while, to be honest, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that's what I'm voting for. I'm going to pass the ball to Ibu.
Yeah.
What are you thinking for match of the year out of these 5 contenders?
Can you please reread me the list?
Kenny Omega versus Ospreay 1 and 2. Swerve versus Hangman. MJF, Bryan, ZSJ.
That's an amazing collection of matches. Like, those matches are fucking great. I think pretty much all of them, save for one, is like right around 5 stars. Joe. You know what's crazy? My brain is telling me, Joe. My brain is telling me Kenny Omega versus Ospreay 1, but my spirit and my body is telling me Hangman and Swerve's Texas Death Match. Because it's just insane, man. Like, it's just fucking,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
insane. I think it made Swerve a made man for the rest of his tenure in AEW, and it's just a joyous experience. Kenny Omega. I think Kenny Omega's best heel performance of his entire career is in that Ospreay match, to be honest with you. And it's really, really incredible. But the more I think about this, the Hangman match made me emote physically, I guess is the word you want to use. You know, so I yelled a lot.
Or that you posted your shirt and your pants on the floor.
Correct. I did rip my clothes off.
Crazy.
I did. I was a guy. I was not naked. Those were shorts. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that now that I think about this. Maybe it's recency bias, but fuck it. Live in the moment. I'm gonna go with that. Danielson and MJF was my match of the year up to that point. By the way, that match was amazing.
There was Bryan versus ZSJ was like this wrestling masterclass that like the really nerdy part of my fandom like appreciated almost on a perverse level. Quite the match that was. But like we said, what a collection of matches. Joe, what are you thinking?
Great year of matches, no doubt, but nothing has reached or, if I'm being totally honest, come quite close to the match that we had on January 4th. That was my 1 seed right away, and it stayed there pretty comfortably. And again, that's there's been some great stuff, but I thought the Wrestle Kingdom match with Omega and Ospreay was just like on its own level this year, which says a lot about it, considering the rest of the matches on this list. Omega kind of rolling back the years, and I say that with love for who he still is as a wrestler, but my goodness, he was as good as he's ever been that night. He was back in 2018 or whatever it may be in New Japan, and the violence, the way they wrestled the match that I didn't necessarily expect. It had such spite and aggression to it. The second match is more like outwardly epic, but the first match is for much more to my taste. It's that's my match of the year for sure.
Rob?
I am really torn because my match of the year is not on here, actually. My match of the year, a very recent match because it brought me to tears, was Ospreay and Shota. It was my match of the year. But
watch that.
My second favorite match of the year, surprisingly, while the first match of Wrestle Kingdom made me speechless, the match at Forbidden Door between Ospreay and Omega was just like, it was like an out of body experience, bro. It was just insane. Like the trading of offense they were doing, the sequences that they were doing, Ospreay dropping Kenny Omega literally on the top of his skull. Like not on the back of his neck, not on the back of his head, literally on the top of his head was just like one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And I just think I'm indifferent. I like babyface Kenny Omega way more than I like heel Kenny Omega. I don't know why. And I love that match. It's so fucking good from the entrances to the way they basically structured the entire match with the reverse basically of the Wrestle Kingdom match. It was beautiful. I loved it.
It's pretty awesome though we're able to do that. Give you completely different looks to that pairing. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very
We still need that trilogy ender, which we're obviously going to get in AEW at 2024.
So Rob, Joe, Eva, Charlie, what are you thinking?
I have been going back and forth on this because that Bryan MJF match, being in the building for that, and like just the fucking timer, like I think it was like the timer running out, and them like calling for like the like sudden death, and them going into that was absolutely insane, and that whole match was just incredible. But the Wrestle Kingdom match between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega has literally been burned into my brain since the day it happened. So I think I've got to go for that one just because of like the lasting impact it's had. But yeah, I genuinely think the Bryan MJF match is underrated because people don't really talk about it. It's always these Revolution matches, they fall off the map for people because it just happens at such a weird time of year, and it's not like noted as a big pay-per-view for AEW. It's just their first one of the year. So it always just kind of falls off a cliff, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's got to be the Wrestle Kingdom match, I think.
Ayo, I'm quite interested to see if you're going to go with Big Swerve or Big Kenneth. What are you picking? What are you picking, Ayo?
This is very hard for me. You know, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 1, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 2, and Hangman versus Swerve 2 are literally 3 matches that I will be showing my children if they have any interest in wrestling in the future, which I hope they don't. But if they do, I'm gonna be showing them these matches. These are matches I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. It's very hard for me to pick between them. I think I just gotta go with that January 4th match, brother. Like just Kenny, I don't know, man. Kenny Omega just means so much for my professional wrestling fandom. He brought me back after 7 years of being away, bro. And January 4th, he made me remember why I love this shit. Even though what was it called? Forbidden Door. I was really low during Forbidden Door season. Like I was starting to get spiteful about everything. I was like, I kind of hate this shit. And he made me remember again why I love this shit. Why we create content. Why are we doing this WrestlePurists shit, bro? But I think I'm gonna go with January 4th. Been a huge Swerve Strickland fan for a long time. He main evented the first indie show I've been to. It's him versus Rich Swann, CZW, in like 2016 or 17, something like that. Yeah, man, to see him go from there, you know, just the bell-to-bell guy to full-blown megastar at a major company, it's been a crazy ride, bro. It's been a crazy ride, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Kenny versus Billy Goat 1.
Monty, I have a question. How many did you get? Like, because I know you had to count it up for the nominations. Did you get a lot of Nakajima Miyahara picks, shout-outs?
Bear with me, because I'll do it on paper.
Okay. That's funny.
That rules. Tremendous.
Because while you search this, because I do want to match. I thought that match.
This is full, Dave. Oh, no.
Yeah, it really is. You're rustling through papers.
Monty is so much better than me. Like actually, like counting all of these tweets and shit. Because if it was me, I would literally just ask the rest of the WrestlePurists contributors, be like, all right, what matches are you nominating? Because I'm not counting these tweets, bro. Like,
I would just lie.
I would went on vibe. I would have eyeballed it. I swear to God, I would eyeball it.
Yeah, I would eyeball. Like, I've seen a lot of this. I've seen a lot of that. Seen a lot of this.
It's like when a wrestler's cutting a live promo, like, do you want me to do this? And you hear some yes and some noise. You're like, sounds like a majority yes. All right.
Yeah.
I'd send my one off and it'd be like FTR versus the Righteous, you know?
The fact that Monty went out of his way to count every fucking tweet is psychopath.
Yeah, he's a real pro, man.
Okay.
Workers. Okay,
I'll tell you. Outsiders doesn't know. The Triple Threat of Mania, of course, got a lot of suggestions, but didn't quite make it.
that's my.
There was a couple suggestions for Carmelo versus Ilya Dragunov. What else we got? Mox versus Hanger. Kento versus Nakajima. Ospreay of Shota. Okada versus Naito. Ospreay versus Naito.
That was really good.
And Rhea versus Charlotte got a couple votes as well.
Where did Gallows and Anderson and the Viking Raiders come in? Just that.
Was that the one in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, man, the one that drew the house.
So
I'm genuinely surprised that show didn't make it to the show of the year. Just because of the fun.
Whoa. Gallows and Anderson had a tag match at Backlash?
No, it was on the SmackDown before.
The SmackDown before.
Oh, because I was watching Backlash. I don't remember.
The crowd was
Big LG hot tag.
I don't remember that going on.
They had Machine Gun selling, and then it built to a big LG hot tag in Puerto Rico that these fans are going. They thought he was Undertaker the way he was going.
He's better.
Beast.
I agree with you, Charlie. The energy of that Puerto Rico pay-per-view was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Basically turned into a Bad Bunny concert. I rewatched that his entrance the other day. Fucking awesome.
So cool.
One
of the best moments of the year.
WWE match of the year.
Nah,
That's my
let's
WWE.
go. When
Like,
Savio
wow.
Vega's theme hits, and he just walks up and just kind of like
stood there.
Oh my God.
But he's
Yo.
old man with a bad hip because he's kind of leaning to one side, like so he slightly strikes a bad bitch pose a little bit on the stage, and you're like, all right, he just
When Savio Vega walks out, it sounds like God's music just hit in the arena. Like, it was crazy.
They were awesome, man.
All those pops, bro. That pop for Carlito had me howling, bro.
That was really funny, but it was very big.
I wonder if they lost the rights to his theme, and that's why he doesn't use it anymore.
all I know is that match is happening. It's awesome, and I'm like, I literally said to my brother, like, it'd be really funny and epic if they just keep Carlito's theme, and then I spit in the face of people, and I'm like, oh my God, and then he just comes out. Oh, what a good time.
Good stuff, man. Okay, we get into the big three now. Big three? Yeah, the big three. So we've got Women's Wrestler of the Year, we've got Best in Ring Wrestler, and we've got Wrestler of the Year. Because no women, unfortunately, made the Best in Ring Wrestler list this year, I'm going to start there. So we go, from men to women to men again, So Best in Ring Wrestler of the Year 2023. We are looking at Gunther, Ilya Dragunov, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, and Zack Sabre Jr. Gunther, of course, is currently in the middle of the greatest Intercontinental Championship title reign of all time. Ilya Dragunov has been getting some absurdly good matches out of wrestlers who have never had matches anywhere close to what they've been able to achieve with Ilya Dragunov. Bryan Danielson is very, very likely the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time. Will Ospreay has been an alien this year. And Zack Sabre Jr., I'm very happy he made the nominee list this year because he's worked with the New Japan World TV title. Every single defense has been not even from solid to very good. Like, they've all been like good to very, very good. So all four of them, I'm not mad at a single person on this list. I'm probably going to pick Will Ospreay because his output has been freakish the past 18 months or so.
Yeah.
And even before that, he's been a freak, but he's just an animal, AO.
Brother, when you look at Will Ospreay's year, he had the match of the year in AEW, the match of the year in New Japan. the match of the year in Rev Pro, the match of the year in Pro Wrestling Noah, the match of the year, the second best match in the history of Impact's TNA. Like, look, man, at some point you gotta stop getting cute. You gotta stop being like, well, actually, Danielson's work in the steel has been really interesting, and his match with Andrade. Bro, I love Bryan Danielson. Stop this, bro. Stop this. He's not overtaking Will Ospreay's year because he had a couple of 4 1/4s and a 4.5, bro. It's just not happening. You're just talking out of your ass. What we've seen from Will Ospreay, we'll probably never see replicated ever again, even by Will Ospreay. This year makes no sense on paper. It makes even less sense when you actually watch these matches. Shout out to the Billy Goat.
He's been pretty insane, hasn't he, Joe?
He has, and he's a guy who's kind of married quantity and quality this year, right? His output's been crazy, but he's also got the high end. When we did match of the year, he came up an awful lot, clearly. So I'm going to be very cowardly with the Danielson Ospreay thing and just give one of them an award each. And this is the less important award. I'll give it to Will Ospreay.
I
appreciate the transparency.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reverse it. Ospreay has an insane quantity of excellent matches. Bryan Danielson obviously does not have the same level of quantity because of his injuries, and his the amount of matches he's wrestled is far less than Will. But I come away with very different feelings coming out of his great matches. Like, they're very different. Like, ZSJ versus Danielson is nothing like his matches with Ricky. And his matches with Ricky are nothing like his matches with Bandito. His match with fucking Andrade is nothing like his match with Daniel Garcia. So for me, I lean towards Danielson right now for best in ring, specifically this award, because just for me, I watch all his matches, and pretty much all of them, like I want to say 90% of his matches this year are great or better than great, and they're so varied in how they're great are. And this is not a Ospreay has the same match take by any means. It's not. It's absolutely not.
It really is.
No, it's not. It's not. But I just think that like Danielson's approach is so varied in like a way that like I just personally I'm always just moved by. I always have something to say about his matches that are great. So I will also be cowardly in the Joe Holbert fashion, but I will do it in the reverse.
Respect.
Rob, go on.
Oh, I got Ospreay. Listen, Ospreay for me is my back-to-back wrestler of the year because I had him last year, especially after that Okada final last year. But this year, it's just like Ao said, like he basically has the match of the year in almost every promotion outside of WWE, and it's insane because it's just like while all his matches may seem the same, all of them he has the match of the year. He also has the match of the fucking year in Rev Pro against Shingo. Literally 24 hours before he has one of the matches another match of the year candidate in the match versus Jericho. And it's just like for him to go, he basically is like wrestling every week, and he has one of the best matches of the year every week that he wrestles. It's insane. It's like the Speedball match for me surpassed the AJ Daniels Joe match for best match ever in terms of just like I've never seen that type of reaction for a TNA match that I saw for the Speedball match. Like it's actually insane, and for me, that's why he's just my wrestler of the year and in-ring wrestler of the year. Just the way that he's turned shit around. He's made some promotions that are absolutely garbage and horrible and deplorable look like fucking god tier promotions just from him wrestling there.
But enough about the UK Indies,
bro. Yes. What he did for Fuji, come on, bro.
What you said with Marufuji?
Daniels doesn't have that on his.
Marufuji has not had a great match in like.
Wait, I got one for you. All respect to this man, but the match quality that Danielson was able to produce with Ricky Starks is crazy. You know, like,
I'm not even that high on those matches, bro.
I think they're crazy. I think the first one,
the strap match. I really enjoyed the strap match. The Texas Death match
I think that's amazing.
Whatever.
I'm the high man in the world on that one.
That was easily. That was worse. That was easily the worst AEW Texas Death Match in my opinion. That was worse than the. That was worse than Hangman Adam Cole.
Nah,
Whoa.
Yes,
I haven't rewatched that much.
yes.
I think they're all great, but I think Danielson's Texas Death Match with Ricky. I think it's the second best. I think it's the second best behind the.
Come on, bro. What he did for Kenta in the G1.
Oh,
like,
that was crazy. Oh, it's
like,
crazy.
What are we talking about here when we're talking about in-ring match quality, bro? Like,
Ospreay's. Yeah, I think your best in ring. I'm gonna go Ospreay. I think I'm gonna go Ospreay. Same as Joe Cole, but yeah. Gunther, it's
He's awesome. Fucking rules.
Gunther, yeah. Gunther's just what a wrestler Gunther is, you know. Just
would be remiss.
Just tremendous, you know. Ilya, like I said, he's in NXT, and the fact that he's in NXT and has been dragging people up to his level so that he can make a list like this is wildly impressive, you know. The Trick Williams match is probably like one of the most impressive feats that any of these wrestlers achieved this year.
I was shocked he couldn't do it for Corbin last night, bro.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, all right, bro. Like this Corbin control segments are like these heat segments, bro. They're terrible, but you know
there's a huge difference in approach though, in the sense of that Trick Williams is a rookie newbie that's just gonna let Ilya do what Ilya does. Whereas I'm sure Baron Corbin's the sort of guy that thinks he knows better, and he's like, you know what I mean, and be like, yo, let me sink in his headlock.
We got to tell a story.
Yeah, that's a great call, actually, Monty. That like Dragunov's gonna look at Trick and be like, "Job battle, no," and he's gonna be like, "Okay." Whereas the Corbin, it's like, you know, you just one chop, and Corbin's like, "All right, relax, kid, fucking relax."
Yeah, I legitimately think that Trick Williams match is one of the greatest NXT TV matches like ever.
I watched that and I just believed like anything was possible. Like I watched that Trick match. I watched that and I was like, so Dragunov can just do anything. Like he can just do anything. That's why I saw the Corbin Dragunov graphic. I'm like, all right, 4. It'll be a 4. Like that's what he does. Like he can just do that. You know?
Yeah, man. He's pretty insane. Charlie, you going with Ospreay?
I've been back and forth on this one. Zach was who I've been like and over. No, because I watched so many Road to tags this year, right? And the way that he was just teaching Kosei Fujita in ring during these Road to tags really stuck with me from earlier this year. I think it was during the New Japan Cup or something stupid. I can't fucking remember now, but I don't know. What he's done with the new New Japan belt as well, it's been insane. The match he had with Tanahashi during the G1, we've got to be honest about Tanahashi in 2023. It's rocky.
Do we have to? Can we just continue to lie?
It's rocky. Okay,
bro, that Tana G1 match was the first was the first good Tanahashi match in a good amount of months.
Yeah,
I can't lie, a good amount of months.
It was looking scary. He had a match with Swerve, and I was like, that was interesting.
and then he had an even worse match with MJ the next night. I was like, no, Tana.
Hey, I feel like we watched 5 Tana matches in the States this year where we were like, whew.
Yeah, the match he had with Ospreay at the show in May that was in LA that I cannot remember the name of. That was also an interesting match as well because they were both playing the hits. It was very funny.
If you watch Tanahashi in the States, right? He usually goes t-shirt nights on mode, but these are like TNA venues that he's doing it for. Like you ever see Tana at like Multiverse? He just goes out there, he flexes the titties, you know, he does his taunt to the Go Ace chance. He might do a sling blade, probably not. Calls it a day, bro. And it was looking like that was all he had. It was everywhere else, like in New Japan and AEW, everywhere. It was scary. But then Zach brought that feeling back in the G1.
That 15-minute time limit, or that 20-minute time limit, whatever it was in the G1 this year, really helped him out. So I think that the match he'll have at Wrestle Kingdom as well will actually be really good. But I digress. I don't know how I got into Tanahashi so deeply, but yeah, I think it's Zack Sabre Jr. in ring. Obviously, Ospreay's had an insane year. More on that later, and by later I mean when my feature eventually comes out. It'll be out soon. It's almost done.
Good
But
point.
yeah, Ospreay's been incredible. But
Yeah, what feature is this, Chuck?
Zack Sabre Jr. My one about Ospreay and how 2023 has been his most important career year today.
I feel like you've been working on
Almost
like
done.
I can't keep up right now.
Neither can I. I have like 4 on the go. It's very fun. It's a lot.
That'll work.
Yeah, she's the workhorse to win the year, Charlie's. Okay, let's move on now. Best in ring wrestler, I think. Again, all these nominees are just tremendous professional wrestlers, you know.
Yes.
And speaking of which, Women's Wrestler of the Year 2023. Athena, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Becky Lynch, and Sarai. Athena, of course, ROH Women's Champion. Many people will say she's the sole reason she's been. They have been tuning into Ring of Honor this year. She's had multiple really, really strong defenses, and she's really created a strong demand of people wanting to see more of her. You know, she's just been tremendous. She's been uplifting other people with this reign as well. She's been tremendous. Rhea Ripley is, as WWE say, if you look up the word star in the dictionary, you will see Rhea Ripley. A huge star. She hasn't quite had the in-ring output, but I will say her highs, such as the Charlotte Flair match and some other matches that she's had this year on TV. She has had some good matches this year, but I think that's more of a more to do with the level of star she's become, because she is legitimately one of the biggest stars on Raw, which is, you know, saying something with the amount of star power they've got on that show these days. Julia, of course, she had a run with the top title. She's you know, Julia's like, she's not Stardom's ace, but she's just great, you know. And obviously, there's a lot of talk about her potentially coming to WWE, and I think she'll do great there. And you know, Julia's just one of the many great wrestlers in Stardom who clearly, judged off this nominee list, was the standout of Stardom this year. So shout out to Julia, huge fan of her. I'm sure she's going to have a huge 2024 if she does decide to make a move. Becky Lynch, really, really consistent TV performer in terms of match quality. She got an outrageously good match out of Trish Stratus, which I think is worth bringing up at this point. And she's had really good matches with people like Xia Li, you know, and it's like she's been tremendous on weekly TV and stuff. And Sarai, I haven't seen too much of her work this year, but I've only seen glowing reports, to be honest, about the shows that she's booked herself. She's the only truly independent person up for an individual award. Obviously, she's just signed with Sukeban, but all of her work as that
was Holbrook's real promotion of the year.
Yeah.
all of her work that has got her on this nominee list is basically from her just being independent and just being great, you know. And so shout out to Sarai, Becky Lynch, Julia, Rhea Ripley, Athena. Ayo, what are you thinking?
I'm going with the American Joshi, Athena, bro. She carries the brand on her back. She is the star of Ring of Honor. Forget the biggest women's star. She is the star of Ring of Honor. She is what people turn on ROH TV to see. She is main eventing another ROH pay-per-view this weekend. First woman to ever main event an ROH pay-per-view. Gonna do it 2 pay-per-views in a row. She's making history right in front of our eyes. This run that she's been on has been insane. Honestly, she should be up for Wrestler of the Year, in my opinion. She didn't get nominated. If people were more familiar with her work, I think she would have been. You know, there's a lot of great choices. Like I'm not the biggest Rhea Ripley fan. Monty said objectively, she's one of the biggest stars in WWE. I saw a tweet like she was outselling like almost everyone in the company at one point in merchandise and stuff. But her ass doesn't wrestle. So I only watch the pay-per-views. I don't see her wrestle often. I've seen her have a couple stinkers on the pay-per-views. Obviously the Charlotte match was great. Haven't caught it yet. I'm sure Charlotte did her thing though. Who else is up for Becky? I'm not the biggest Becky person. Sari, I've only seen 2 matches. She's sensational, but I've seen like 2 or 3 matches this year, so I can't, in good faith, vote for her because that's the smart answer to do. So I'm going with Athena, man. I'm going with Athena.
Fair. Charlie, what you thinking?
Athena.
Who you thinking?
I think for me, it's very easily Athena. Like, Becky's done really great stuff this year in WWE with like how she's elevated talent and like the people she's worked with, and she got so much out of that NXT title reign considering she had it for like what 6 weeks or something like that. Like she didn't have it for very long at all. Rhea Ripley is like one of the biggest stars in WWE, like the biggest women's star they have right now, I think. And she's had like a good year in terms of that and like being a figure on the show. But in terms of the wrestling, like other than the Charlotte match, like obviously I don't watch the week to week stuff, so maybe there's been more stuff, but she hasn't really had any other standout matches. And I don't know enough about Sari or who was the other one?
Julia.
Oh
I
yeah, I
haven't
forgot
watched
to
enough
mention Julia.
Julia's work
Julia had an awesome
this
year.
year. I've seen online that she's had like a really great year, and I've watched like 6 matches maybe. I need to get more into watching the Joshi stuff because they are always the best wrestlers, but Athena's just been the best champion in America this year, like regardless of gender. And she's done so much for Ring of Honor, for keeping it alive when people really did not care about the brand at all. Like she was the only reason people cared about it. And for a lot of people, she is still the only reason they care about it. And she's just been incredible, and all of her matches have hit, in my opinion. I don't think I've watched a bad Athena match this year. So yeah, I think she far and away deserves it, to be honest.
Rob, who are you voting for?
If Athena didn't have the year that she's been having on Ring of Honor, I would have given it to Becky. I know people would have expected me to give it to Rhea, but I would have given it to Becky simply for the fact that for the same reasons I gave her the women's MVP of WWE. She's given like some of the worst wrestlers on the roster and the catering usuals, the catering. What's that fucking word I'm thinking of? Anyway, the catering regulars, like some of their best matches, but like Athena has been doing shit that has like basically brought attention to the women's division of Ring of Honor on a grand scale. I think her match with Willow is one of the best women's matches in the history of women's wrestling at Death Before Dishonor. And so I can't slight Athena just because she's on a lower stage, not a lower stage, but a lower stage in terms of like streaming platforms. And so I got to give it to Athena. So
yeah, man, Athena's a great choice, of course. She's been tremendous. She has been tremendous. Might be dropping the title to Billy Starks at Final Battle. Might be the end of this great reign, Joe Hall. But is Athena your pick for women's wrestler of the year?
She is, and I think honestly, it's a great tragedy how few people have seen it. And so, if she doesn't win this award, I think we'll all understand why. It is what it is. I get it. It's not Ring of Honor is not a red hot property at this point. It is what it is. To me, Athena's case isn't built on great matches so much as the matches she's had with talent who should not be having matches of that caliber. Right? She gave Kiera Hogan her best match by miles and miles. Sky Blue, had like an insane match in the studio, which I remember talking to you at the time about. Monty was like, I don't know how this match happened, but and I'm not saying they're great matches, but what I'm saying is when you consistently give people their best match, to me, that's what the idea of being a world champion is. I know she did the same with Layla Hirsch. Mercedes Martinez, they had a match on TV recently. It was Mercedes' best match in quite some time. So yeah, like I don't think her case is loaded with like classics. I do think the Willow main event is worth noting in that regard. I also think the TV, I think it's episode 2 of TV that was main evented by Willow and Athena was tremendous. I think it's kind of not got enough love. So yeah, Athena is my pick. She has been the ideal world champion. She's brought everyone up. What she's done with Billy Starks as of late is extraordinary. They're going to main event this pay-per-view here. And like, look, is it going to be the biggest show you know? But Billy Starks is 19 years old. They've told an incredibly compelling story that will change Billy's career. So, yeah, Athena for me.
Ibu, are you going to complete the clean sweep for Athena, or are you going to try and mix it up and pick one of the others?
You see, as a big Sukiban fan, I have to go with Sari. And kind of against the grain here. No, it's Athena, and you guys have all made my point for me, so there's no point believing it.
Yeah, man. Athena. Shout out Athena. Shout out all of them for the reasons that I was saying earlier.
Absolutely.
All of them are fucking tremendous. So
Becky's case actually is very. It's like the exact same as Athena's case, to be honest. It's just that it started too late.
Yeah, it's more compact part of the year, whereas Athena's kind of spread across the year.
Yeah.
Even though the quantity probably isn't all that different.
Yeah.
okay. Finally, the big one, the big cheese. Wrestler of the Year 2023. The WrestlePurists Wrestler of the Year 2023. Last year was won by John Moxley. And this year, the nominee list is Gunther, MJF, Cody Rhodes, Will Ospreay, and Bryan Danielson. I'm going with Bryan Danielson. And this is in a similar way to how John Moxley came in late for the promo of the year vote off Charlie and AO. This is very similar for Bryan Danielson and more Wrestler of the Year 2023 vote. A lot of the reasoning is actually kind of similar to like why you give him give him best in ring, because of kind of like the range of his work. And that's not to say Will Ospreay hasn't got range, because Will Ospreay has a staggering amount of range when it comes to in ring work. But Bryan Danielson just brings out like this sick feeling in me, you know. And this Continental Classic, he's only been wrestling in it for what, 2 weeks? He's been wrestling in it for like 9 days. He's produced 3 tremendous matches already, 3 tremendous promos already. He's
the level, like the quality of this tournament as a whole dramatically changed when this nigga walked in here. like they're having cute little matches on TV, and he said, "All right, bro, I said this was gonna be the best tournament ever. What the fuck are you guys doing here?" You know, it's almost like he called a timeout and then subbed himself in the game. You know.
But yeah, I'm going with Bryan for this. Will Ospreay had my best in ring, but I'm going for Bryan for this one because he just makes me feel things. You know what I'm saying, Joe Hulbert?
Yeah, we're in the same place. Basically, the deal here is for me, if this award is about the complete year, I'm going to be totally transparent and saying I think it's a unique year, and I don't think there's an obvious pick. I think Ospreay is an obvious pick for best in ring. I think big picture, complete package, I think is a little more complicated.
MJF had it in the bag at one point. It felt like,
it's been a while.
Did he?
I did. I did. Listen, I thought he was straight up the Wrestler of the Year, and then he chose to not be the greatest.
Bro,
indeed,
Choked.
Bro, MJF feuded with the greatest American wrestler of all time, and y'all let that trick y'all. up until that point, what did you like so much about MJF's reign, other than the Danielson feud?
It was just working. You know?
Yeah.
What did you like so much about it? Like y'all saw that Ricky Starks, and he was like, "Oh my god, MJF,
bro, that Ricky Starks,
you're just my Wrestler of the Year."
Yo, that the Takeshita match was super good.
Yeah, no, it was just working, bro.
Even before the Brochacho story
Bill
started.
was shit.
You know.
The bill was terrible.
Do you remember?
Anyway, hang on. Let me get my pick out and then you can do the MJF thing.
Go ahead.
So I don't love any of the picks as a complete patriot. So I'm just going to say this. There have been many weeks where I've wondered if wrestling is actually bad and questioned whether I like it or not until Bryan Danielson wrestled. I was in Chicago when Bryan Danielson emerged for the match with Ricky Starks, and God, imagine if that wasn't the case. You know, I think it's a different weekend. As great as the rest of that show was, it was a big moment having Dragon come back. He recently did it with the Continental Classic. He has been central to most of the wrestling I've enjoyed this year, if I'm being honest. And I say that while admitting that he's missed like 6 months of the year. I get it. I concede. It's Bryan Danielson. You know, I mean, he's that guy. So, yeah, Dragon is my pick. Now proceed with the MJF debate here.
I was gonna say, Joe, the thing to your thing on Bryan, like, I've watched so many AEW programs in the last couple of months where I just go like, where would these people be without this person? Like, I feel like at the right time, every time, he just kind of come in and makes things okay. You know, I feel like whatever it'll be, it just feels like he's walking goodwill for the promotion, so to speak. And I just think in the ring and outside the ring, he's so important to them, and not even to be one of those fucking like weirdo like I think I'm on the team motherfuckers, you know, who's like good on Danielson for keeping him in line, but like I just think like him being a leader. You know, I'm gonna use all the fucking LeBron James platitudes. Just he's a leader among men. He walks in there first. He's the first one in the gym, the last one to leave. You know, but like I just think it applies to the guy. You know, I just feel like it just feels like he's the glue for the promotion right now. And so I totally understand the pick. I'm gonna go with Will because I'm a pussy, and he's tremendous, and he's just done big time shit everywhere he's gone, and he's a monster. And yeah, you know, Roman Reigns, you could have been a candidate, but you don't really like to wrestle, and so you know, good for you. You know, you're on an island.
Not too much.
No, listen. It's odd. That's all. It is his choice to get millions of dollars and to chill on an island with his wife. I wish I could live like you know. So you know, and so that leaves us with this uneven playing field where it's like, do we give it to Ospreay off just like the quantity of greatness? Do you give it to Danielson, who's like a mix of that and leadership and whatever the fuck? Do you give it to Max, who was like great for like the middle of the year? And so, you know, most of these arguments are valid, and it's a shame Max didn't really follow through in the fall period, so I could stay with that pick because that was my pick mid-year. It is no longer my pick, unfortunately. Yeah,
I don't understand how that was your pick mid-year.
Charlie. Look at, you know what I'll say? Look at what he got out of Adam Cole. Like, respectfully, like Adam Cole.
Are we talking story-wise or match-wise?
Everything. He was the main character on AEW programming.
Let it go, champ. It's over.
It is. It is.
There was a period that I didn't agree that he was Wrestler of the Year, but the stuff that he did with Adam Cole for like the first 6 weeks was great.
Yeah,
and then
he's been feuding with the devil for 2 months, so yeah.
But none of that came close to anything Ospreay's done this year. I don't think. Every promotion that Ospreay walked into this year, he felt like the biggest star there, and that includes AEW. He felt like the biggest deal at Wembley.
He did.
Like,
but
and that's why Ospreay's my pick. Very obviously. But
regardless of how you feel about the Brochacho saga, at that very same show, those 80,000 people were super into the type of music that Max and Cole were making. They were
Max had a good year. He's fallen off. He had a good year though, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I think he fell off after the Joe match.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Rob.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just eating. But yeah, I had Danielson at the beginning of the year, while Ospreay was hurt, simply off the MJF storyline and what he was doing in those matches. Like that Dynamite that he had the Roosh match on was like
fucking incredible.
Genuinely a deplorable Dynamite. Like, and him just going out there and having that fucking match was like just amazing. But then Ospreay came back. Not only did Ospreay came back, but he just had a 3 or 4 month stretch where he just had the best match on every card he was on. So that's why he's my Wrestler of the Year, genuinely. Like I explained before, he's on a different level now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. Ayo, are you copy and pasting your answer for best in ring wrestler with the Will Ospreay?
Copy and pasting, bro. Look, I've said some spiteful things about Bryan Danielson. I fucking love him to death. I think he's the greatest American-born wrestler of all time. I don't mean the spiteful things I've said about you, Dragon. I'm sorry, bro. But he's wrestled like 13 singles matches this year, bro. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? He's wrestled like 13 singles matches. When you look at the year Will Ospreay's had, if you took his resume and just put it on Bryan Danielson, the way people would talk about that year would be disgusting. Like the way they would slob on Danielson's meat would be ungodly, bro. And I feel
worldwide would have to be put on Pornhub. Like
bro, I would throw y'all off of this channel. The things that Monty would do on camera, bro, it would be disgusting. So it's like Ospreay's wrestled literally all across the world. stepped into all these different promotions, had the matches of the years in all these different promotions, bro. You can't take that away from it. In a year where TV wrestling wasn't that great, and no like TV world champion said, I'm waving the flag, I'm playing it down, driving the business here at this major company. Like, I feel you gotta look to New Japan. I feel you gotta look to the Puro guys and see what they're doing over there. And then you see Sonata speaks for himself. You see you see Jake Lee was the Pro Wrestling Noah for the champion for the entire year. That speaks for itself. Like, there's nothing really going on over an Impact with the world title. Like, Alex Shelley is just popping himself with the world title over there, grabbing the hold and whatnot. Not to disrespect Alex Shelley, bro. Like, you know, I love him, but you know, his world title run's not for me. It's just like you gotta give it to the Billy Goat, man. Like, the year that he's having, like I said, like, if he is able to even ever match this again, I would be shocked. I don't think it's possible, bro. Like, I don't think he would want to. Why would he want to? He's gonna be a multi-millionaire.
I don't think he intends to.
Yeah. Like, it just is what it is, brother. It just is what it is. And for all you same match merchants, you're just not watching. The match that he had with Shota Umino, emotional, hard-hitting match. He didn't do a super duper flippy fucker destroyer, cock crusher. Like, they went out there and they wrestled an amazing match, just like Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay.
Cock crusher. that needs to be someone's super chat name, like, tomorrow.
Bro, and it's just like, oh my God. Same thing with the Kenny Omega match, bro. Like, Ospreay's just sensational, bro. I can't sing his praises enough.
Yeah, you got Will Ospreay. He's got, you know, his output, as we've mentioned many times on this show today. His output's just been insane. You know, the quantity and quality. You know,
he's
you got the two
60 matches this year.
You got the two Kenny Omega matches, the Zack Sabre Jr. match, the Naito match, the Shota Umino match, the fucking Jericho match. These are just after Shingo. These are just the ones off the top of my head, and there's probably like another 10, 15, 4.5 star.
Bobby Fish this year.
The Naito.
That's not one of the great ones, but he did it.
I mean, where's the lie?
Anyway,
Naito block final.
That's what I'm saying, man. Naito match, incredible. So Will Ospreay's, Will Ospreay's case is very stacked in terms of in-ring work. Bryan Danielson, he's just very special, you know. He's just very. I think it feels like he's got a point to prove with certain people when he wrestles them. Like, you could tell that, like, he wanted to get a certain thing out of Ricky Starks during those two matches. Might be why he loves them so much, you know.
Yeah, I think the second one's just incredible.
He achieves a great variety of things with his opponents throughout his matches. He's very special and unique, and he's so engaging. Like, I was watching an Andrade match last night or whenever it was, and he was like, I find myself like lost in his matches, and I get like 10 minutes in, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is just an artist, you know? It's just like, and I find myself like admiring him, you know? So there's just kind of like a special, everyone says the word aura these days, but it's very true with Bryan Danielson. MJF, we spoke about, he's had some very, very, very good highs this year, but he's also had his lows, unfortunately. Gunther has been tremendous all year, but I think the IC title kind of puts a ceiling on him, especially in WWE. But his highlights do include like the Chad Gable stuff, the stuff with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus at Mania. Gunther's tremendous, but like I said, the kind of is a little bit of a ceiling on him with where he is at the moment. Hopefully in 2024 he gets his first world title reign or something, you know, and he's got a stronger case going in 2024 when we get to these awards. And Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes, shout out to Cody Rhodes. Obviously, he won the Rumble. He main evented WrestleMania. Unfortunately, lost. The match was absolutely tremendous until the finish, though. And massive credit to Cody Rhodes that he's still hot, bro. A lot of people thought when he lost at Mania that, oh no, he's going to slowly just go downhill, blah, blah, blah. I think there's absolutely a case that he's even hotter now than he's ever been. And and he's just the guy in WWE. It feels like, you know, he's the guy who distributes to the troops promo. He's he's like the ace. You know what I mean? So I think he will have a very, very strong case next year. So
I need Big Roman to shut all this talk down. Can't lie. Roman, please make Cody do the job just one more time. I'll never ask for anything wrestling ever again.
If Cody lost to Roman a second time at Mania, I'd probably just stop watching wrestling.
You said that the first time.
Yeah, you said that the first time, bro.
You said I would come back, man?
I don't take anything you say seriously.
You got pulled back. You'll be fine.
Bro, you said that the first time. You said if Cody loses this match, I'm done with WWE forever. You didn't miss a single episode of Monday Night Raw. And then
I didn't.
No, you didn't. And then no, you didn't. And then you bet your career. And then you bet your career that Cody Rhodes would be WWE champion at SummerSlam. That didn't happen. We don't take anything you say seriously.
To be fair, they were gonna do it at SummerSlam, and then Mr.
Yeah,
Rome.
To be fair, you bet your career, you locked it in, and it didn't happen. So
Big Rome had to, put in his own creative in there. And
I need Big Rome to finish this Uso story. Drop it to main event Jay. Yo, what if Jay gets so over that Roman's just like, I like what my cousin's doing over there.
You know what he'll say? Yo, Roman's gonna say we couldn't do it right last time at SummerSlam because I hurt my leg. Let's try it again.
Could you imagine, bro? What are the chances that that's like running through his head right now? Like it's not a non-zero chance.
Running through his head, 65%. Would he actually say it out loud to the people in the company? Like 1%. Like
I think he would, bro. He really thinks he's the tribal chief. Like he really believes this.
In his head, he's like, "Nigga, I'll get this shit to Solo, nigga." But like,
bro, YTC, baby.
I feel like he's like convinced himself that like, oh, Cody can catch it off of Jay when Jay loses the title. It won't matter. It's all the same. Like.
We'll see how it plays out, I think the fact that there is like a non-zero chance that Roman just gets really political makes it even more intriguing, to be honest.
Honestly, how would you feel if he was like, I'm dropping this to Jay?
It's kind of real.
No, Cody needs to be crowned. Because he's basically been the uncrowned guy in the company all year anyway, So it's like to try to get another year of that is like brutal, because it's actually like it's a success that shouldn't be taken for granted that they've managed to keep. And Cody this massive credit to Cody as well as a performer, because everyone knows how highly I think of Cody Rhodes as a talent, but it's almost a credit to him that they've actually managed to keep him where he's at. Even like I said, even arguable that he's in a better spot now than he was going into Mania 39. So, you don't want to like play with that.
It would be a sign if like on Friday the week of Mania they're like, breaking news. Night 1 main evented Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Night 2 CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I'd be like, oh, it's over. Wow, okay, so Cody's losing. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, Cody needs his moment. He needs.
And he'll get it. He'll simply get it.
No, Roman. You can't really. If you're looking at it from a business point of view, or if you're looking at it from like the office or like creative, if you're one of those guys in WWE, you can't really be like, oh, we made the wrong choice at Mania, because the business that they did coming out of Mania between like the Bloodline Civil War and all that stuff, and Tribal Court and this and that, drawing record numbers and all this stuff. So it's after that. It just feels like if Cody Rhodes had the belt during some of the stuff he was doing this year, it would have been the company would have been so much better for it, So.
Monty, if Roman doesn't do business, I think the roster would jump him. That sounds extreme, but
I fucking would.
They wouldn't even get past Nia Jax. They wouldn't get past Nia Jax.
That entire roster is not fighting a group of Samoan niggas. Please.
Ibu said this about something else a couple of weeks ago. Like if
I'm not
this
sure.
happens, the locker room's gonna jump on. And it's
They
like,
would
bro,
simply text their favorite
Solo
journalist
Sikoa
and
is a
call it a
legit
day.
criminal.
They would text SRS and cry.
This
That's
is
it.
bullshit.
They are
And
not, bro.
Sheamus
Solo,
would be the only person with sack enough to say it to the sheet.
Yo,
I mean, to say it to actual like
it would say
publication with his name on it. Maybe Bobby would say something, but that's it.
Fightful select portions backstage reaction to Roman beating Cody again, and like the locker room was uniformly angry.
WWE wrestlers planning a walkout.
yeah, one wrestler said, one wrestler said, "This is a disgrace. He gets paid all this money just to sit at home."
niggas is not even getting past Jacob Fatu.
What would be a funny exercise, and it wouldn't happen, but if he pin Roman again, pin Cody again, and then just walked in the locker room just to see what niggas would say, just put his hands up like, "What's up? Y'all mad? Like, what's going on?
I'm not gonna do shit.
What y'all thought should happen?"
Roman's, I'm sure his co-workers are very envious, but they would all take that deal if they could get it, So
that's a semi-report. They kind of hate him now.
Nigga Ibu think a bunch of niggas gonna get past a family full of criminals to jump.
That's why Seth Rollins is always allowed to take these little shots at him in interviews.
I forgot Seth's always crying, bro. Just always crying. You have your world title. Why are you still crying?
Joe, did you see what he said about Roman this week?
I did not. No.
He said who cares about who's gonna beat Roman? That's not even a real thing anymore.
He said people are more anticipating who's gonna beat me.
Yeah,
nigga said no. The craziest part was he said dethroned. Like he has this like.
Yeah, he's like there's more anticipation on who's gonna dethrone me. No, there isn't.
Nigga, they gotta hide Gunther from you.
The thing is,
Gunther would be cool. Oh, Punk would be cool. Sammy would be cool. Oh yeah, this shit would be cool. Nobody really cares though, bro.
In the soundbite when he said it, he's basically admitting like, well, people know I can lose any title defense because I'm Seth Rollins, but like Roman Reigns, it's like no, not anybody could pin him. Like he basically said that, which is kind of a self-own. But yeah, no, the heat on Roman right now internally is like the highest it's ever been, like ever in the history.
Yeah, very.
Tribal Court go crazy. 3 million viewers. We're running it back in 2024. Ooh,
I saw a tweet, Monty. It might have been Ivy's or somebody. No, it was like Humble Wrestling. Someone tweeted like when Randy was there on SmackDown and Punk was there. Someone was like, "Man, I wonder if Roman wishes he could be a part of this right now." And I was like, "He doesn't give a fuck."
Not even watching.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. Roman's fucking beast, man.
Roman
he's
has
got
never
to do business at Mania, but I love the guy, man. I think he's awesome.
Did you hear what I said? He's never seen LA Knight wrestle in his life. That's a legit thing that he told to me.
Bro, he ain't on vacation so he can watch the shows at home. He's not a fucking mark.
Right.
You don't got main events on.
My
favorite thing Roman does is when he's got time off and he takes a gym video. And he's like, yeah, people think I'm taking time off, but I'm putting in that work. I'm working,
He probably
used to reach the quota with a 1 emoji, like the finger or something pointing out.
Bro, he's probably like, yeah, I only watch what my cousins be doing, but like I'm not into that shit.
I'm not even.
You probably tuned into one Jimmy Uso segment and never watched SmackDown again.
Not even that, AO.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I'm dead sick. The quotes I get from Roman from WWE about things he says is so funny. He's just like, "We doing high level shit. That's all we do."
Roman Reigns has probably never seen Paul Heyman say, "Call Roman Reigns."
No, he doesn't. He doesn't watch wrestling, bro.
Anyway, let's I like Roman Reigns. What a beast! What a beast! Anyway. Gonna do some super chats and we're gonna wrap it up because we've been here for over 3 hours and God bless all of you who've stuck with us. Prasant, 100 rupees, appreciate it. Apologies if I got that wrong. Don't get why Ospreay is meant to be better than Dragon. I find Dragon's work more gripping, even though I don't like Blackpool Combat Club's alignment switching as often. Different taste, brother. Different taste. Will Chisholm. $12, appreciate you as always. NXT having Trick Williams getting the John Cena Money in the Bank return pop was nasty last night. Got people lying saying he's better than Melo. It wasn't nasty.
Look, man.
Fucking raw.
Look. As someone who only watches the pay-per-views,
Chill out, bro.
Trick Willie got something you can't teach.
The big bald
I don't
brother, he's
know.
up there.
I don't know if Noah got that in him, bro. Trick Willie got something you can't teach.
Oh, come on. On a night where Melo has just being promoted to the main roster, you know?
Hey, bro.
Come on,
It's not
That's
fella.
all
about
that
Melo,
BPJ
it's about
match.
Trick, you know.
Yeah.
Big Trick. I love both. I think they're both.
I just want to
fucking
know what
awesome.
went through Paul Levesque's mind watching BPJ that told him, "Let me get this guy out of this show. Let me bring him." Like,
I don't know. Anyway, Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate it as always. What's your women's matches of the year, and what is the best AEW women's match of the year, not including ROH?
That's the hard question.
Julia Tam was exceptional. Charlotte versus Rhea, exceptional.
Kyrie Mercedes.
That was a great match. It was a great match. 4.5.
Yeah, no, it was a great match. Yeah.
Just throwing your star right now.
I'm just not sure if I'd put it on. I just don't think I'd put it on match of the year level though.
How many women's matches this year would you say are over? That's the thing, yeah.
What's the AEW match?
That's a hard one. Like,
What's
the great main AEW show women's match this year? Jamie's run where she's going crazy. When was that? Was that December of last year?
That's
was
what I'm thinking. I think that may
It
have been
was
the end of
late
last year.
2022, early 23.
Yes.
But I don't know how much of it bled over.
Because that's what I'm saying. That was the last time I was watching AEW women's matches that I thought were like just fucking excellent. You know what I mean? Unless I'm forgetting.
Jamie and Emi Sakura had a really fucking awesome match.
Yeah, that was.
If that was this year, then that's the pick.
Sheeta's second title win from Storm.
Yeah, that was this year.
Yeah.
None of she just worked in the rain. Like she was doing well, but it wasn't like she's just good, you know.
Yeah, I didn't love the title match win. The title win match.
Rhea versus Yuka, was that this year? That wouldn't be a match of the year contender though, is it?
No,
I really
wouldn't,
love
but
that
that was a lot.
It did rock. It did rock. It was last year.
Statlander's had some really good matches. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what would be
It's a very
AEW's match of the
unfortunate
year.
conversation, to be honest.
It is, but women's matches of the year, my go-to two would be Tam Julia and Rhea Charlotte.
I'm saying Tam Julia.
That was really fucking good.
Yeah, man. Tremendous. There's been some tremendous wrestling this year.
Yeah, for me, Tam Julia, there's a Chihiro Hashimoto match I saw this year that this is so embarrassing that I can't even remember who the opponent was.
Shuri at Queendom.
Was it the WrestleQueendom match?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe, but because I watched.
You'd like to call Jay Wynn mobile.
Nope.
What in the world was that?
Bro, I'm not even touching my
Really,
phone.
Chips
Siri
and,
just
fish and
started
chips
talking
theory?
to me, bro.
All I know is I remember there's a Hashimoto match. I saw that was incredible. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the Queendom. It was because it was against Suri. It was against Suri, I believe. That was incredible.
Oh yeah.
That was amazing. And then Charlotte versus Rhea was incredible. I think I gave that 4.5. And then Kyrie Mercedes.
The longer you carry on with this, the longer this super chat's going to start on the screen. I'm just.
Oh, what the hell is this?
You know,
Bro's going for his spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Bro, you want to drag this out? This is what you get. You know?
Sorry, I didn't even see the super chat. Go
I
ahead.
gave that on 4.5.
I'm like, let me go through my notes here, like Dave and
Ricky Starks, $4.99. Ibu, this is a message for you. Ayo, do you want to do the accent? Because you know I'm not going to do it.
You're a piece of shit.
WrestlePurists here goes to no one else but my Ibu, my effing soulmate. Us against the world, Ibu, you and me and you, Zaddy. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it.
That was even more unsettling than usual.
I mean,
It's been a while.
I've had more time to watch Ricky Starks promos. So.
Will choose on $5. Appreciate it as always. Did Roman really hurt his leg, or was it a HBK 1990s? I'm not going to put you over, so I'm going to say I lost my small thing.
You really hurt his leg.
I hurt his leg.
You could see in the match him grabbing his leg.
Yeah.
To be clear, when Roman doesn't want to put someone over, he just says, "I don't want to put him over."
Yeah.
Deadass. He just says no.
He's just
Statute of limitations is passed. He did that this year at Mania.
Jan Theodore, $2 Canadian. Need Roman to win WrestleMania to have the Punk title feud.
They don't need a championship for that, or it could be for the big gold.
As you said last year about the
Gold.
Usos, brother.
Big gold.
Calling Seth's belt the big gold is really disgusting. Work. Please, we're
That
not
was
doing
kind of
that.
gross.
It's
Yeah.
not the big
It's
gold.
time
We're
to-
not
it's time
doing
to
that,
wrap.
bro.
With that, we need to wrap this up quick before he says anything else.
Yeah,
Will
come
Chisholm,
on, bro.
Will Chisholm, $10 appreciate. Here's a problem with Seth. He wants to be the guy in WWE, and I hear stupid fans saying Seth should go to AEW. If he's mad at that, he's really not going to be the guy.
Talk to him, Will.
Keep Tyler Black out of the promotion. I love.
Will just fucking lit him up.
He did.
He's where he's at.
Called him a
We'll
bitch.
just put the boots to Seth Freakin at 3 hours and 20 minutes.
What a beast.
All right, Seth had a good one with Jay this week. You know.
What
Will
a
Chisholm,
beast.
$2. Ibu, have you heard anything about Charlotte's knee?
It is a knee injury. People are scared that it's serious enough to where will miss time. They took her off the house shows. Yeah, she knew it was her knee. It happened during the commercial break, and we'll see what happens. I'll ask about because we'll hear because they're going to be at TV tomorrow, and we'll see because Bianca was going to work Charlotte at Mania.
Wait,
So
there's one more super chat. I don't know if you've seen it.
The Bearded Baron, £10. Appreciate you, brother. All Japan lost a main eventer to end 2022, and now they're the hottest they've been in a decade. Elevated Yuma Aoyagi, giving Anzai every chance to shine. Consistently excellent show. All good tournaments. And
I want to watch more.
They are. That is why their booker is nominated for Booker of the Year, and that is why, as a promotion, they've been nominated for Promotion of the Year. So,
and Nomura's
it's cool
coming
to see them
back.
get the flowers, you know.
The All Japan main event structure, it hurts my soul, bro. It hurts. So I do need to watch more, but you know.
Speaking of the
Hey, we should catch up with the Nakajima stuff though that he's been doing lately.
Might just wait for Big Jima to come to the big leagues. New Japan, brother. New Japan.
Speaking of Puro, Noah just announced that on January 2nd, it will be Kaito Kiyomiya and Oiwa versus Evil and Yujiro Takahashi.
Who and who?
Oh my god!
I didn't hear. What did you say?
It's Kaito Kiyomiya and Oiwa versus Evil and Yujiro Takahashi. And what I said to Jamie, who just sent this in the WrestlePurists chat, is why is Ren in House of Torture if Yujiro Takahashi is still going to be Evil's second? Like, why is Ren not in this match?
Puro might be fucked.
Back to the worldwide.
Lost hope.
You know what time it is. Coming to the worldwide leader in sports and entertainment. We got a seat. There's always a seat here at WWE headquarters.
Oh my god, Rob, you should have pivoted and said NXT Japan will save Japanese wrestling.
No, don't get me started.
Oh my god.
NXT World Takeover 2024.
Oh, thanks.
Just buy like DDT or some shit. No, I'm kidding.
That's nasty as fuck. DDT have had a pretty good year from what I've seen.
Charlie, Chris Brooks was holding the world title. You know, let's not get.
You know my biddings on Chris Brooks, so this is not a valid argument. You know that I enjoy his work.
He's like a nice guy.
This singular attack towards Chris Brooks is so unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary, and I will get to the bottom of this.
They put Raleigh and Aki on their shows, you know? Like, it's like, what do you, like, grow up.
Anyway, enough of Ibu just complaining about DDT. We are going to wrap this up.
Dramatic Dream Team.
I need to wrap this up. I need to wrap this up for my house. You know? Anyways. WrestlePurists Awards 2023. Closer look at the nominees. Hope you've enjoyed it, people. We've been here for over 3 hours. I'm getting very tired and cranky at 3:15 a.m. in the morning. It's just how it goes sometimes, you know. But I've enjoyed this. We've had a good look at them, and vote. Make sure you fucking vote. You know, we didn't do this.
Get your votes in now. Don't cry after you ain't vote.
Absolutely. Of course, pin tweet on our Twitter page. It's in the description, and yeah, man, make sure you go vote. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Don't cry. Like I also said, don't cry if your winners don't. Your winners don't win the actual award. It's just how it goes, brother. You know. Going to be interesting to see how media and other wrestlers vote. You know. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how it all turns out. Voting is open until January 5th, I think. January 5th is when we're closing the voting, so you've got plenty of time so you can see the Continental Classic play out, World End can play out, all these things if you're still undecided. But yeah, man, make sure you go vote. And yeah, man, back again tomorrow. WrestlePurists Worldwide, myself, Joe Hulbert, Ibu. We're going to be reviewing the weekend, NXT Deadline, Collision, Rampage, SmackDown, and our usual stuff. Yeah, man, I'd like to get into. I think anyone got anything special that they want to plug? No, no.
I've not got
Look at
anything
that.
out yet. So
Chilled out
just be on the
Sunday.
lookout. I have articles coming. I promise they're coming before the end of the year.
Merry
Oh,
Christmas,
Tommy.
everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry
I know what
Christmas
time it is.
and Happy
Tomorrow,
New Year. Make sure you
I know-
go and vote.
I know what time it is. Tomorrow, Worldwide, Tuesday, Raw Review. We don't do anything on Wednesdays, do we?
Might have WrestlePurists live.
Yeah, it depends. Depends. But
Oh, yeah, watch along. Twitch. Tap it.
Oh yeah,
all the watch-alongs. Same as
Dynamite
always,
Twitch.
people. Same as always. If you follow the WrestlePurists page, you'll be pretty up to date. You'll be nicely up to date with what we've got going on. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Spaces, whatever we do, you know. All right. Shout out the WrestlePurists universe. Shout out my fellow co-hosts. And like, subscribe. Thank you for all the super chats. And we will catch you tomorrow for Worldwide. Peace.